The College Football Experience Week 5 reaction show episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up, and when you do, sign up with the promo code TCESGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Yes. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. It's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey, this is Cartman. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the College Football Experience Week 5 reaction show. Almost got you. YouTube.com/the College Experience. Get on over there, hit that like and subscribe button. Woo! Because your boy Slick Rick. Or I'm sorry, Slick Pick Dundee. What do they call me? Pick Flair?
Pick Flair.
Cap Bozo?
Sir Pix-a-Lot.
Just killing it over here. Having a fire day. Call the fire department. Best day of the year so far.
Woo.
Best day of the year.
Solid. I got to check
the college football year, that is.
I got to check my numbers. Are you talking about the games or your performance?
My performance.
Hello.
And the games were fire too. There were some fire ass games today too. But yeah, my fucking performance. All right. It's a tough day for the haters. Tough day for the people that call me a pile of shit, even though I encourage more of that. Patty C. Well, I guess I should introduce myself. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Oh, I'm sorry, not playing the music. I thought the music was the music's been playing in my head.
That's right.
All day.
Like a champion.
You start hitting a few of these big time plays.
Sheesh, I'm looking at your numbers.
Buddy, the money line.
63 and 33 on spreads.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's insane.
It's okay.
I was 29 and 18. Didn't play as many, but also hitting at a pretty dang good clip.
Buddy, I had fire money line plays today. I'm just gonna say, might just buy myself a power boat. You know what I mean?
18 and 10 on your locks. I was only 2 and 2 on lock that I entered in the system.
It's the money line plays that came through today.
Yeah, well,
I mean, 18 to 10 is good.
Rattle them off.
Oh no, we will. But first, let me introduce you. Let me be a proper pile of shit. And I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh! Up! Yeah, boy. A fire day in college football. Some results I was a little disappointed in, but for the most part, pretty pleased with what went down. And then from a betting standpoint, solid.
Let's go.
I'll take it.
Shout out to Danny Dumb Shit in the chat, giving me 20 American.
Damn.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Coming out hot.
Buddy, I had a very good, today was just a perfect day.
Thank you, Danny Dumb Shit.
Because you got people like Danny Dumb Shit giving us cashola. You got, helping the program, helping this fine institution known as the college experience. And, buddy, we had just a fire day. I mean, I did have an embarrassing loss against your boys that we'll talk about.
Did you money line that bitch?
But I did.
Whoopsie.
I did.
That
but
might top my
you
North
gotta spray the board,
Texas
though.
money line.
You got to spray the board.
You can't win them all.
Well, I mean, look, let's just start on Thursday. Your boy Dundee locked up the Army Black Knights. -11. See you in heaven. Cashing these checks.
Boom. Nicely done.
Bryson Daly for president.
Army looking great, and their schedule very forgiving. But as always, it's just a matchup situation until that triple option becomes, potentially beatable. But I think even with Army, even with Notre Dame, I think Army could run this fucking table.
I do love them.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nicholas Greenwall. Let's fucking go
Boom.
Wildcats. Well, I'm actually.
We need like a cash noise.
I appreciate the $5, but I'm actually sweating out Utah, and that's just not going to hit. There's no way this is going to hit. Shout out to my guy Noah Fafito, just fired a fucking laser.
Yeah.
Nicholas Greenwall, is that the guy? Any relation to? Isn't that the? Did it all for the spirit in the sky?
Greenbaum. Norman Greenbaum.
I'm all over the fucking place. Did it all for the gambling god in the sky, Patsy.
There you go.
Yeah, but I am. Don't worry. I also have Boise State. They're looking good. But yeah, Army looks really good. And then obviously last night.
Woo. Did we talk about that?
We did not. But I hit on Rutgers first.
Do we talk about that?
Yes, we should. Rutgers. No. I hit. That was, I think, triple lock, right? Did you lock that with us, or me and Nick did at least, right?
I don't know. I was kind of hyping watching, but I think I eventually went with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Virginia Tech Miami game. I was on the wrong side of it. Didn't lock it, but still I did end up throwing some cash on it.
Your boy did. Your boy locked that
dude.
one.
They should have won. Let's talk about that.
I was
bullshit.
tempted to money line it, but because of that bullshit alone, I refrained from advising a money line play because I knew the ACC wanted Miami to win, and lo and behold,
dude,
a lot of people might
those
say
calls were bad. Yeah. And that, ironically, they were the same refs from the Duke Miami game like 10 years ago.
What was his name? Jerry Magallanes.
How's that guy still working?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
He's in my. Did you see the tweets I was putting down?
Certain jobs.
Did you see the tweets I was putting?
I think I saw a couple
about Philadelphia.
No.
He is from the same
as Donahue?
As Tim Donahue. He put not the same school, not Cardinal
county,
but
same county.
The same. They played in the same Catholic school league. In fact, Jerry Magallanes, the referee, was apparently in 1981, one of the best football players that ever played football in the Philadelphia area in the Catholic schools. But doesn't mean he's not a crooked ref. And all of those people, that's weird that he's from the same little area.
Well, it's very weird. And what Petty C is referring to is, what the hell's the name of that podcast? The Tim Donaghy podcast.
I'll look it up.
Just type that in about Tim Donaghy. I think I have it on my. That podcast basically confirmed all my suspicions on the NBA being bullshit.
Whistleblower
yes,
podcast.
Listen to that, and when you find out how many refs are from the same county in the NBA.
Yeah,
I
want to say 4 refs from the NBA went to the same high school, Cardinal O'Hara.
I think it was more than
in
that.
Philadelphia, maybe more.
Listen to that documentary, because they basically have a guy that works for the FBI saying
But Jerry Magallanes played in the same district as those dudes. Graduated 4 years before Tim Donaghy, so it's 100%. And Tim Donaghy was convicted and spent like a year and a half in prison for fixing games.
Yeah.
Right. So Jerry Magallanes, it's an awful weird coincidence that he's from that same area. That's all I gotta say.
That game was bullshit. And Matt in the chat saying they reviewed it. It was bobbled. It was bobbled after we didn't see a part of the ball, which to me, like if they had ruled it incomplete on the field in real time, I would have been okay with it sticking. You just had to stick to the rule on the field to me, because the replay showed us nothing substantial to me.
Here's where Colby and I disagree. I understand exactly what Colby's saying is, to an extent, you kind of can't overturn what was called on the field.
Well, you have to show conclusively, and there's a point where the ball is not visible.
But the ball is moving enough where maybe
there's
it's
a
conclusive,
part where we don't see it.
But there is like a millisecond where it's like maybe he had possession.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
there's a part where we don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was a millisecond. I think like there's a part where it's like it
a
goes.
half second.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to me,
there was a part that looked like he might have had possession.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So like
and
we
on
don't
that
know.
alone, you're
Yes.
probably right. You can't overturn it.
You should not overturn, even if it was incomplete. You shouldn't overturn it to a catch. I'm saying the replay did nothing to me. It did nothing but just make me go, you got to stick to the call on the field,
Which I can completely understand. I think I think Virginia Tech has a very real, beef with what
the
went down.
holding penalty was even worse.
Yeah.
I mean, how about the clock? Brent Pry had some horrible clock management.
Yeah.
But there was also the clock actually fucking running at certain times. You're like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
What's going on here? Like the guy's clearly out of bounds, and they're running the clock.
This is a recurring theme in college football.
Anyway, Patty C, I'll tell you this. You and me, and I'm not shitting on you by stating this. I'm just saying that you had Miami as a team that was on this upper tier, I think. They're no longer on that upper tier. And I think I couldn't argue it with you because
I will push back on you. I think Miami has been playing like a championship team, but there's a reason I call for Virginia Tech to cover. And if I had any nuts, I would have called them on the money line. But you guys have talked so much shit to me. But I knew Virginia Tech was playing better ball than those two losses, and I knew Miami was a little bit counterfeit. I knew Virginia Tech style matched up very well with Miami.
Miami had not looked counterfeit until this game to me. This game is like I'm out on them. They're not a serious contender.
Well, I just knew that what they were doing wasn't like going to work against every team. They've been slicing and dicing every team, but if you play a team that like defends the secondary really well, which Virginia Tech, even with Pry, I don't know if it's Foster's influence. I can't say that necessarily because I got to give the credit to Pry for doing. But Virginia Tech continues to be an excellent back end defensively coached team,
Yeah.
And they get beat up in the front. That's why Rutgers was able to handle them. I think even Vanderbilt was too physical for Virginia Tech. But Miami is not an overly physical team. They've just been winning by finesse and speed and accurate passing. But Virginia Tech's well equipped to handle that.
All I know is Miami does not look like to me like the red flags occurred this game. And I know they don't play Clemson in the regular season, but they play at Cal. They play at Louisville.
Yeah, let's go down their schedule, and I'll say.
I mean, they should probably be favored in every game except Louisville, right?
I'm going to tell you who I think presents
the next game is
stylistic
at Cal,
matchup for them.
right?
I think they probably get the better at Cal, even on the road. Although College Game Day going there next week makes a hype environment that might be troublesome for them.
Okay, and then at Louisville, they're going to lose that
Louisville
game.
is also athletic. So
they are going to lose that game. I feel very good about that game.
That's a tough game for
at
them.
Louisville.
Yeah.
Brahms' record against top opponents when they have to come to his house, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough game. They'll torch Florida State because Florida State is another
horrible. What the hell happened
speed-based
there?
team that doesn't have speed.
Then
right?
you got the Manny Diaz revenge game, but they're going to fuck up.
They'll get the better of Duke. Yeah.
This is a sneaky game on November 9th.
Georgia Tech is sneaky.
That is sneaky.
Yep.
Wake Forest is fucking
They'll
horrible.
Crush Wake Forest.
They're going to win. They're probably going to go 11-1, dude. Maybe 10-2.
Yeah.
Cal and that is a nice schedule.
Yeah.
Because when you really look at
Cal and Louisville are tough games.
Well, I can't help but notice what Ball State and South Florida did today and what Florida's done ever since playing them. All those teams are trash.
Yeah.
This is a trash ass schedule. How many winning records will be on this schedule when it's all done?
At the end of the day?
Yeah.
It's tough to say because we were trying to project Virginia Tech season. We're looking at 5-7 to 7-5.
That's true. That could be a good win at 7-5.
Right.
But who knows? But my problem with this is now Miami couldn't have known that Florida was going to be bad. You know what I mean? When that game was put on the schedule, I will not blame them for that. They also playing at South Florida. I'm not going to say they fluffed it up. Now, Ole Miss we'll get to in a second, but Patty C, I do think this win probably gets Miami to the ACC championship if they don't cristobal a key game to like Dave Clawson or something.
This win today gets in there?
I think so. Yesterday, yeah.
Yesterday,
I think we'll probably, because when I look at this, even if they lose to Cal and Louisville, could a 2-loss tie maybe maybe, but there's not a lot of meat on the bone.
The SEC seems still much more wide open, especially after today. But the ACC, there only seems. I mean, Pitt.
Yeah.
I mean, who else is really a contender to like make
Pitt
it all the way?
certainly is. Louisville. Louisville has no
Duke,
losses.
are they for real?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I would say
Virginia, no, probably not.
no. It's Clemson. Clemson. Yeah, Clemson, Pitt, and the
Miami.
fact that they don't get any of those, or they get Louisville. That's why that Louisville game could be huge.
That's massive.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I would agree with you. Those 4 teams right now: Clemson, Pitt, Louisville, and
So I
Miami.
guess they didn't solidify the ACC championship yet, but because
The fact that they only have to go to Louisville after a bye,
yeah,
they're in a pretty good spot right
but
now.
if Louisville wins that, they'll have the tiebreaker because Louisville's schedule is really nice. Because that'll be like a 2-game
That's
lead.
gonna be a great game.
Yeah.
And we have pointed out before that Louisville, having previously taken a lot of Miami talent, whether it be
It's
who was it? Charlie Strong got it, but
Teddy Bridgewater.
but who else was
What
going on there?
was that beast safety the Jets drafted?
The guy who had hit really hard. That
Calvin
probably,
Pace? No, not Calvin Pace. Calvin Pryor? Calvin Pryor.
Yeah. Man, I wanted him on the Steelers so
Yeah.
bad.
I can't wait for that game. Anyway, bullshit there. Not surprised. I just don't know how you overturn it. That like I to me and Brent Pry, I thought in the presser I would have gotten fined because that was ridiculous.
Yeah, he played it pretty like reasonable. I hope
I
they
would have
got
gotten
it right.
no, I would rather like have my coach say that is nonsense.
Yeah.
Put the heat on him. I know they're going to fine you $50K, but come on, you're a millionaire.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's not the money.
Guess it's easier to say.
I think Brent Pry's a class act. I think he's a class act.
Patty C, I want to mention Rutgers as well because Rutgers is now what 5-0, 4-0, something like that, right? Do I need to remind you their remaining schedule? Nebraska, Wisconsin, UCLA, US. Now it's at Nebraska next week, but Nebraska, who I bet today minus 9.5 points. Holy shit, they look like shit for like 3 quarters. Nebraska a little phony to me.
Rutgers a little phony,
of course, but the schedule's genius.
Yeah.
But Patty C, Rutgers at Nebraska. Do you have a lean on who you would take there? I guess you would take Nebraska, right? But not. They did not look good today.
No,
but.
and let's be honest. What Rutgers is doing is kind of sustainable. You know, I call it counterfeit, and I think they're getting by teams barely. But I do think what they do is they play conservative football, great defense, run the ball hard. Monangai went off again today, right?
He's good. He's good, man.
And so, I mean, going to Nebraska is going to be tough for them.
But if they win that game,
they just keep doing what they're doing.
If they win that game, they'll be what 5-0 or 6-0. Then they're home to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Then they're home to UCLA.
It's winnable.
Then at USC. Okay, the wheels fall off.
It's
but
some hard games.
Yeah. What? I don't know if Wisconsin, UCLA are hard games.
Not
okay.
gimmies, I'll say.
I'm just saying they don't play Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, or Michigan.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Anyway, it's going to be fun to watch Rutgers game in and game out, even with that pellet gun there they got. Patty C, let's get to today's action, but I hope you cashed in on my Thursday and Friday locks because I've had a really good week this week. I'm not going to bullshit you. This has been one of the best weeks. This is by far the best week of the football season thus far.
Boom.
As far as from a gambling standpoint.
Again, let me read that record off. You managed, if I can get to it, 63-33. That's insane.
I told you, buddy.
18-10 on locks.
I told you, buddy.
I think you're
call the fire department.
I think you're
call the fire
I think your
department.
regular pick percentage is higher than your lock percentage.
Fucking backdraft over
but
here.
that's definitely the case for me too. So for some reason locks are really hard for us, but
Fire Marshal Dundee here. Buddy, but then Minnesota, Michigan, guess what? Minnesota plus the points did cash and they got fucking robbed.
they did get robbed.
Now, I will say Michigan was the better team all day today. But
most of the day, they weren't the better team all day.
Yeah,
in
true,
the third and
true.
fourth quarter, Minnesota
that
was better.
onside kick, and shout out to Chris Peterson. This is what I'm talking about. Finally, someone questioning what the hell we're doing here.
Yeah.
Chris Peterson basically
not that
called
hard.
them out
Right.
saying, that call's ridiculous. Even if it was slightly offsides, it would be ridiculous. But in the film, it's clearly he's not offsides.
Well, if it was slightly offsides, I don't think it would be ridiculous.
No, he was saying that he was saying hypothetically. He goes, when I was a coach, he goes, you can't really if
a fraction of a second.
But he goes, when you look at the tape, there's no one offsides there, and he goes, that's a horrible call. Yeah. Like that, like someone should have to like.
Oh,
because
why does it always feel like Michigan? When the other team comes close, the refs got their hand in their back pocket, just ready to pull that flag.
Yeah, absolutely horrible there. Michigan moves along to what 4-1. Patty C, they're at Washington next week. Are they going to be able to beat the Huskies in Seattle?
Michigan?
Yeah,
probably. But I think it'll be a close game.
Yeah, I don't know. They kind of suck. But
Washington or
both.
Both, yeah.
I mean, Michigan's winning, but
that running game. I mean, whatever it was. What I heard the announcer saying that Minnesota had figured out Michigan's kryptonite. I don't know if it was the no huddle.
Michigan had 241 yards of offense.
Well, I guess playing defense.
I don't even think you can argue that. Like Minnesota had 296 yards. Obviously, they had a missed field goal or two. I think I know for one. For sure they had one. Now Michigan's defense was good because they limited Minnesota to just 38 yards rushing, but still. When I look at Michigan's schedule moving forward, I don't know about the Washington game, but I can tell you this: at Illinois on October 19th, that's a loss.
Michigan?
Yes, they're going to lose that football
potentially. Game. Yes,
Illinois is better than them.
I think so too.
They're a more complete team, right? Then they get Oregon on on November 2nd.
Altmaier made a fucking bonehead play. That's the thing you can't do against Michigan.
But that was at Penn State. In Champaign, it's going to be different.
That's true.
They get Oregon on November 2nd, Patty C. Indiana on November 9th. Ohio State on the 30th. They're gonna have like 4
They're
losses.
not making the playoffs.
Yeah, they're not. They don't deserve to make. They don't look the part.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
You can't throw for 120 yards in a 2-week span.
It's not only the throwing thing. It's just their offense is super fucking predictable.
Yeah,
and I think that's a problem moving forward. So,
yes. Against a mildly decent team, that becomes a problem.
But I did cover that one, and Nebraska did win 28-10. But man, Patty C, what if I told you this was a 7-3 game going into the fourth quarter?
Nebraska Purdue.
Yeah,
I would tell you
that's concerning, man.
Yeah, Nebraska's not good. What do we expect them to be? What are they sitting at 4-1?
That's what I'm saying. They're gonna have their first bowl season in a long time because they have
reality's gonna come crashing down real soon. What is Nebraska's remaining schedule?
Home to Rutgers. At Indiana, at Ohio State. They better get Rutgers because if not, they're going to be 4-4.
Yeah.
Then they're home to UCLA. That could be the 5th win. At USC, loss. Home to Wisconsin, that's winnable. At Iowa, loss.
They could lose all of those games. I think they could also win probably
a couple of those.
4 of those.
Oh, dude, this Big 12 race is about to get a little wild.
Utah is done.
Hey, guess what? Cam Rising didn't play. Glad I bet on Utah again. You fucking losers. I don't worry. How long can you have a water cooler injury, Patty C?
I pressed. With
What's
my
the
thumb.
statute of limitations on how much a?
He fly into a water cooler. What happened? Did the water cooler fall from like the top of the stadium onto his head? What happened?
How what? At what point do like the good people of Utah get to call him just the ultimate pussy, faced like right
now,
to his face?
I think right now.
How many games is it okay for you to miss after a water cooler related
bumping
injury?
into a water cooler? Yeah, none. None is the answer. But when you're costing your team like a playoff berth, yeah, you're a pussy. Sorry, Cam.
Yeah, and you're fucking in your 7th year. You're supposed to be a leader. Oh man. Look at this. Is a huge win for these Wildcats, though. I'll tell you that. And at Rice Eccles,
yeah,
I'm sorry. This is like a
look at him.
He's in uniform too. Fuck you. Get out of here. Folks, want to tell you are listening to the College Football Experience, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network there. Check out our newest pod, Get to the Point. It's Doug Stanhope. Great comedian. Brendan Walsh, great comedian. Sean Green, great comedian. All of them together, talking shit, picking NFL games. Just having a lot of fun. Doug and Brendan have been on everything. Rogan's podcast, Howard Stern, Comedy Central. I mean, shit, there's pretty much everything you can do in stand up. I feel like those guys have done. So check it out. It's fantastic. I highly recommend it. All right. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Fantasy Pick'em is always adding to their awesome menu. They now have first touchdown projections. There are a ton of ways to win with the NFL and college football, MLB, CFL, MMA, and much, much more. Their lobby is jam-packed with profit boost and no sweat entries. You can now use specials to boost on all flex entries as well. I hit the Kyron drones over a half or higher than a half interception yesterday.
Nice play.
So what are you doing? Get on over there, sign up. And when you do, sign up with the promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. All right. So, yeah, I hit on Minnesota, backdoored it, hit on Nebraska, and I should have hit on this. I didn't have the cojones to bet on UConn, but holy shit. 47-3. And let me tell you, buddy, that Duke loss where they were kind of could have won that Duke game, looking better and better.
I took Buffalo. Whoopsie.
Not as bad as my JMU Ball State play, but buddy, I can tell you this. I'm going to make this bold prediction for you right now. They're sitting there at 3-2. UConn is.
Yeah.
They're going to be 7-2 in a few weeks.
They are in what, the Conference USA?
They might
American?
go. They might go 10-2 this year.
They're independent still. That's right.
Yes, I think they might go 10-2 though, buddy. Like I would say like 8, 9, or 10 is what they're getting this year. They're going to win 8, 9, or 10 games this year.
Impressive. Let me see what's on
this is my largest wager on the over.
Remaining games.
I have a couple
hosting
of the same rate, but
Temple at the Wrench.
Yes.
That's winnable.
Matt's in the chat. He agrees with me. I hope you listened to our locks preview because that was my favorite preseason lock. Was
by week
UConn
before
over.
hosting Wake, who apparently Dave Clawson is getting calls for his head.
That's ridiculous.
Chloe and I, agree that is ridiculous.
It's like 2 years removed from like an 8-win season.
Yeah.
You're at fucking Wake Forest. Your enrollment's like 6 people. All right.
Hosting Rice, winnable. Their next 4 games are at home.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's six straight home games.
Told you, buddy. Homestay.
Who the fuck?
They're independent.
Is
buddy.
their athletic director?
They're independent. And let me tell you, they're turning that fucking corner. Jim Moore, a friend of the program. I'm excited for him.
That's the first time I've ever seen any team ever play 6 straight.
Oh, the SEC's been doing that for years.
Right? Wake Forest, Rice, Georgia State, all winnable. UAB on the road. They're going to probably lose on the road at Syracuse, right?
Maybe. I think that's like a 50-50 game.
And then they beat UMass. You're right. 10-2 is very much in play here.
Yes.
No, 9-3. They're probably losing.
Yeah, I said
Syracuse.
8, 9, or 10.
Yeah.
8, 9, or 10. Hold me to it. One of the
were they on your preseason picks?
That was my number one.
That was your number one. What
over.
The
over. It was like 5.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you all heard me hit Army, which we'll get to.
Oh yeah. Oh, I cashed an over. I cashed an over today, by the way. I cashed an over. It's still September, and I cashed an over today.
Who was that? Well, we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. All right, but yeah. So today was a great day of college football because while that Minnesota Michigan game was heating up, at the same time, you had like 10 good games going on. Western Kentucky was up a decent amount, like 17-7. I feel like, or maybe 20-7 in the fourth quarter. Boston College rallies, wins 21-20.
Yeah. 20-7
without their starting quarterback Castellanos. Yeah. Right. This game was a fun watch. So I had Michigan going on. This going on. There was some FCS bangers today. Don't discriminate, folks. The fucking Howard Brown game. Best actual game of the day.
Wow.
Dude, the game was insane.
Only Colby D would know
that. The game was insane today. Lehigh Bucknell was wild too. But that Harvard and Brown game, do yourself a favor. No, Harvard, I mean.
Oh, it's Harvard.
I've been drinking. Sorry. Harvard and Brown.
Those are both Ivy League.
Yes. Gave us an instant classic. You should watch it. You should watch it. You should watch it. Anyway, What are we talking about here? Well, shout out to BC because I thought this was going to be just a devastating loss for O'Brien. I know Castellanos didn't play, but they rallied the troops, Patty C, and now all of a sudden they're 4-1 as they go to Scott Stadium next Saturday. I think they're going to win that game and
wrong.
take down your filthy little pussy Cavaliers
They
in front of 12
Castellanos if they're going to win that game. That's a loss otherwise. Mark it down. In fact, lock it right now, a week in advance.
Shout out to 3802. Northeast football is on fire. Where's Tobacco Road? Nick, he's scared. Actually, no, he's probably highly intoxicated too because of that was my worst loss. Actually, I'll talk about that in a second. But shout out to the likes of Boston College rallying, and then this team's a freight train. Get out of their way.
What do we got?
Kurt Cignetti's not dealing with your bullshit. Did you take Maryland?
No.
Okay, good. Who the fuck was I arguing with about? Maybe it was the bet detective. I don't remember. But Indiana 42, Maryland 28.
That was a great game, though.
That was a fun game.
That was back
for a minute
and forth.
there.
Yeah.
For like a solid 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It was answer,
Boom.
answer,
Boom.
answer,
Boom.
answer.
I feel like it was that for like the first 3 quarters.
No, but it was like consecutive possessions. There was punts involved in between. I feel like for a little bit there, it was just insane. Indiana's 5-0. Let's talk about this. 5-0. They're at Northwestern Lakeside next week.
Winnable.
6-0. Home to Nebraska.
Winnable.
7-0. Home to Washington.
Winnable.
8-0. At Michigan State.
Winnable.
That could be tricky.
Could be tricky.
I think they're going to be 9-0 though.
Let me tell you this though.
They're going to be 10-2 this year. They could lose to Michigan and Ohio State and still get in. You know that, right?
Yeah, I mean, 10-2 with a great season. I will say this: when I was watching,
they could beat Michigan
JMU
too.
last year, and during our team previews, I was trying to hype these dudes, but be reasonable about what they're getting. Right?
Yeah.
Zach Horton was the best fullback in college football last year at JMU. Granted, he's fullback / tight end. I still believe that. He made an incredibly athletic catch today. He made an incredibly great block to seal the edge and get Indiana the edge to have a long touchdown. Elijah Surratt,
dog,
phenomenal receiver, right? Tyson Lawton had a great day running the ball.
Dude, their whole O line is JMU.
D'Angelo Pons got burned.
Their whole O line is JMU. When they open those holes, I go,
Nick Kidwell
James
got
Madison.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
If they had Kidwell, they'd be national championship contenders because he's one of the best.
Buddy, I know
football.
we're joking, but I actually think this is when we really need to seriously talk about the chances of Indiana. Because I'll be honest, they host Michigan. I think they're a better football team than Michigan.
Beat Michigan.
I agree.
They beat Michigan. They lose to Ohio State.
So you're telling me 11-1?
If they do what they have to do the rest of the time,
buddy. If they win in Lansing, that's the only sneaky one to me. Is that game in Lansing? But what? You want to talk about this is what they needed. This will set them on fire, dude. And they'll start spending because they spend in NIL.
I love
basketball.
Cignetti too. Did you see what he said?
Yeah.
He was like, fuck your late night Friday night parties.
Yeah.
You better be at that stadium at 9 a.m. or whatever it was noon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, he's doing everything great. Yeah. I'm about to fucking move to Bloomington. All right. I'm looking at property in Bloomington. Just to enjoy the ride. I didn't bet this game, damn it. Why didn't I bet this? Indiana though does get it done. Hopefully you got the better of the number with Holy Cross because I believe it closed at 28.5, which means you lost by a half a point. But fucking Holy Cross lost by 28 to Syracuse.
It was 27.5.
Well, it depends. No, it closed at 28.5, so you lost by a half. But it was at 26.5, 27.5 throughout the week. So it depends when you got the number there. Shout out to the Qs getting that dub. Fran Brown, Patty C.
Yeah,
I cashed my over on the win total on the BYU Cougars.
Nice.
At 4.5 because they are 5-0.
Their win total is 4.5.
4.5. People were calling for Kalani Sataki. The man can flat out coach.
Unbelievable.
Jay Hill's a good DC.
Nice play.
5-0. Now we need to talk about them because this is fantastic. Guess what? Arizona just beat a top 10 team on the road. And next week, well, actually, BYU's on bye. Who does Arizona get next week? Arizona gets Texas Tech in Tucson.
It's winnable.
Yeah, Arizona will probably take care of Texas Tech,
That'll
but
be a shootout.
they're going to lose in Provo. I feel pretty good about
Arizona.
that.
Don't they typically have trouble going up into the mountains?
Everybody loses in Provo, man.
Yeah.
Provo's a tough place to win.
Yeah.
No one goes into the Super Soaker and gets a dub, Patty C. But my point is, let's look at the remaining BYU schedule. They're on bye next week. Home to Arizona. Home to Oklahoma State.
Who didn't look great.
Who hasn't looked great.
I don't know what's up with Ollie Gordon.
The Olive Garden closed down, dude.
Yeah, apparently.
Too many breadsticks in the offseason. At UCF. Now, they'll probably lose that. Then you got the Holy War in Salt Lake City.
Today, I don't know that I
that's
agree
true.
with that.
You got the Holy War in Salt Lake City. That
There's a loss in those
But
four
if Cam
games.
Rising's still injured from the water cooler, who knows who wins that game? Zach
Even
Wilson's
still.
brother against Zach Wilson. Why can't? What's his name again? What's the guy's name? Zach Wilson's brother. I can't think of his first name.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I'm gonna look it up.
buddy, and then the remaining schedule after that: Kansas, Arizona State, Houston. They could fucking do it. They could do it.
Isaac Wilson.
Isaac, watch out! Cash that today. We're having a fucking great day. We are having a great day.
If they
today.
come out of the next 4-game stretch with one loss, hosting
no
Arizona,
2 losses, they can even have 2. 2's going to get you into the Big 12 championship.
you think?
And they have a tiebreaker against K-State.
It depends on who it's against because Utah and UCF are also Big 12 contenders. So if they have head-to-head losses against both of those,
True.
they might lose those tiebreakers.
True. They're still looking great. 5-0.
Yeah.
The haters, they were out. They were out. I know NC Nick's been ducking that, but
Let's give a SMU a feather in their cap for only losing by 3
to BYU.
to BYU, even though
There
it
you
was
go.
in Dallas. So
Retzlaff.
Playing good ball.
Got it done.
Yeah.
Folks, what to tell you, the college football experience is brought to you by BetUS. Bet with the best in the business, BetUS. BetUS has been around for more than 30 years. You can easily deposit using cryptocurrency and get lightning fast payouts. Yeah, I mean, there's no Hawaii game, so I can't give you that. But next week there's some fire. Support SGPN and get yourself access to another great book by signing up at BetUS. Use our link to sign up and get a 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betus. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betus. Use that promo code SGPN so they know that we sent you. BetUS, America's favorite sports book. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, SGPN's proud partner. Rhythm is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom, predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, totals, props, all that good stuff. You can build your own model. That's what I would do personally. I would select things that I like, and then Rhythm would build around that. Or you could just copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard. Rhythm gives you predictions for every game and every player prop. It's also got a slew of stats, research, and trend analysis to give you even more betting insight. So what are you doing? Claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. All right, we are back. Buddy, my day cashed on the BYU, even though I didn't bet that actual game. But guess what I did bet? I did bet Kansas State minus the points against Oklahoma State. And boom!
did that
You
one
don't just
hit.
go to the Little Apple and get a dub? 42-20. Them Wildcats.
that was a slaughter.
WILD Wildcats.
What had Kansas State done prior to that game
They had lost
that led us to believe that
at
was
BYU.
Yeah, I mean,
At home, they're good. On the road is when you worry about Avery Johnson because he's a young buck.
they
you
did
know,
slap Arizona, but
Probably should have lost to Tulane.
the Tulane game was a big concern on the road. They got it done though. But man, did they come out and play ball. It was a tight game for the beginning of it, but man, when they flexed,
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
the cream rose
Let's
to the
go.
top in that one.
Shout out to Carson Brinkley in the chat. Says, I'll be at the tailgate in Tempe. Yes, next week.
Boom.
Next week, the pregame show. I don't think it's going to happen because I'll be on a flight to Tempe, Arizona. Maybe I'll talk to some people. Maybe we can
Airport pod.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We're gonna try to figure it out for you. The good people out there, they deserve it. But I will be at the Kansas Arizona State game, Sun Devil Stadium. Myself, Stacking the Money Green, Real Money Kramer, and a slew of other great people. We'll be out there.
Damn good time.
Yes, might take some peyote. No devils. No devils.
Devil
What did Herm Edwards say? I don't know. I have it somewhere on this soundboard.
Spinal.
Was that Herm Edwards? I don't think that was Herm Edwards.
Might as well have been. Wait, so
Cold Rubino Devil's Digest.
Devil's Digest, huh?
Yes, sir.
Where you located, my man?
right here in Tempe.
I'm located in hell, Herm.
I'm Catholic now. I'm a Christian. Watch out, them devils.
He is the coach of Arizona State.
Had no idea they were the Sun Devils. What a guy.
Devil's Digest. What are we doing here?
Where you located, my man? I'm in hell, buddy. All right. And it started when you were hired. All right. Yeah, I cashed on K-State. Then let's talk, Patty C, about, I am going to come at you on this one. Because you tend to do this thing to me.
What do we got?
You tend to do this every.
I fuck with you, huh?
Yeah, you just.
I blow smoke.
You get a big head sometimes just from watching like a couple of bullshit outings.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
Somebody not only.
Who did I sell you up the river on?
No. I took some points. I also took a little money line. On these Kentucky Wildcats in Oxford, get this Ole Miss bullshit out of here.
Don't give me a hard time.
Victory lane is. I got money I'll throw at you right now.
I was the one on. If you would
I'll blow my snot in this fucking $50 bill in my pocket right now.
Listen to our Tuesday podcast. We have commenters giving me shit for giving Kentucky a fighting chance to win this game. Kentucky fans themselves saying Kentucky has no chance. And I was sticking up for Kentucky, saying they have a chance, let alone to cover. But the money line itself.
Well, you were crowning Ole Miss. You're saying they look great. And I was like, they're playing nobody. They're playing nobody.
I deserve shit about that because you're right about that. They definitely shat the bed. I thought after the first possession when Ole Miss went down on like 3 plays, however many 80 yards, touchdown, I was like, man, they're gonna slaughter Kentucky. Nope, that was it.
Well, plus 525 in my goddamn pocket.
Nicely done.
And I took the points just to cover my ass. And where you at with Lane Kiffin? Where you at with your boy Lane Kiffin? And can we stop doing this every year in the top 25?
Just
hey, let's put a phony.
Putting 8 SEC teams in the top 10.
You know what the Ole Miss one reminds me of?
First half of the season.
You know what it reminds me of, the Ole Miss one? It reminds me of when they put Indiana there during the COVID season.
It doesn't remind me of that.
Indiana had played nobody, and they're like, remember the Big Ten played like 3 games,
yeah,
and they're like, oh yeah, they're top 5.
Yeah.
Like the rest of the country had played like not the rest, but just the Big 12, ACC, and SEC had played like 10 games.
Yeah,
they're like sneaking in like a 3-0 Indiana.
That was
into
obvious.
the top 10.
And to give, I don't mind so much annihilating your competition and being given credit for that, but yeah, at a certain point, you at least be equal across the board. At this point, are you going to rank JMU? Are you going to put JMU in the top 10 for annihilating their competition, even though it's not been?
Yeah, they've played better teams but before today. Kentucky is better than anything on JMU, but I'm saying before today, JMU had certainly played better teams than Ole Miss.
Yeah, is better than anyone else other than Kentucky. That
yes, by far.
Yeah,
by far.
Yeah. Ole Miss had played, right?
Buddy, today was a fire day, and that was part of it. And this game was hilarious. This game was a very fun game to watch. Maybe because I had a bunch of money on it, but I'm saying you had
Kentucky
this going on.
Clutch.
You had this, huge 4th down conversion in that game.
Yeah.
But you had this going on at the same time as the Minnesota Michigan, the Western Michigan, Boston College. Like I said, you had the Lehigh, Bucknell, and the Harvard Brown. You had I was sitting there. I know you had your dad's birthday party today, but I'm saying like, so he missed the day.
I was catching bits and pieces between skee ball and hoop shot and fucking.
You
whatever.
lost too in that, didn't you?
Yeah, my 3-year-old nephew kicked my ass,
buddy. But I'm sitting there, and at one point, I have like the 9 TV setup. I got 8 TVs on. The 9th has got the split screen of 4 games.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at 13 games right here, and I'm like, damn, if like 12 of these are not like
aren't down to the last.
Yes,
possession.
it was perfect. I was like, oh my god, Oh my God, this is fantastic. The sport's fucking fantastic. And shout out to the Kentucky Wildcats. I'll never say anything bad about you anymore. Look, fuck John Calipari. You're a football school. You're a football school, baby. All right. Patty C. I did lose a wager on South Florida though, because they got annihilated by Tulane. I don't even remember betting on South Florida, but I did.
I took Tulane, but I didn't think.
When did I bet South
bad.
Florida? I'm sitting there looking at my account, and I was like, I bet South Florida.
Damn it!
The fuck, man! I didn't know that I bet South Florida, but I did, and they got housed 45-10.
Yeah.
Is Tulane the best team in the AAC, Petty C?
They're right up there. I mean, I think that them whooping South Florida's ass. I think obviously put South Florida on the third tier down, right? Because I think Memphis is clearly above them. But I think Army and Navy are both probably also above them. Whether Army and Navy are tier 1 along with Tulane or on tier 2 with Memphis remains to be seen. But wait, Navy just beat Memphis. That was a relatively close game, though. I would put them kind of both on the same tier. But maybe not. Maybe Army and Navy start to separate themselves to get on to tier 1. It's entirely possible that Army and Navy are the class of the AAC. Or
yeah. I don't know. I mean, Tulane looks really good. Though,
Tulane's
today.
very good too.
They should have beat Kansas State. Like they were the better team. That's why sometimes the best team doesn't win. Like they were better than Kansas State the day.
Does
they played
Navy
State.
play Tulane? I think they do, right?
I think they do too.
So that is potentially a college football or a AAC playing game.
Catch.
Let me get that pulled up.
Yeah, take a look at that. But I wanted to go back, and I'm sorry, I'm rushing through these, but we're in no rush.
Yeah, we're chilling.
I'm curious if you think Ole Miss is going to win at South Carolina next week or at LSU the very next week.
I think they probably go 1-1 in those two based off of today's performance.
They could lose both, buddy.
They could.
And if they lose both, they're going to be sitting there at 4-3 with their best win being Georgia Southern.
Listen to this. Navy hosts Tulane.
Oh, fuck yeah, man.
But
when is that? When is that?
Okay, so Navy's...
Is that late November?
It is November 16th, so mid-November. Navy goes to Air Force next week. I think they get that.
Air Force is terrible. Right
yeah.
now.
Get a bye week before hosting Charlotte. I think they get that. Host Notre Dame, which is kind of irrelevant toward their AAC championship game hopes, or is irrelevant. Then at Rice and at USF. Dangerous at USFF.
Yeah,
USF.
they'll beat Rice.
But
yeah.
Hosting Tulane, even if with one conference loss, but at that point, if they host Tulane and beat them, then they're probably going.
Yeah.
They got to play Army, but that's after the fact.
Matt in the chat is saying, I'm telling y'all, Army is not good. What are you talking about? Have you watched them this year?
Yeah, that's silly.
Army can play.
Yeah. Look, Army is what they are. They're
good defense.
They're limited. Yeah. They're not going to beat Georgia, right? But they'll probably beat almost anyone in the AAC. Tulane might have enough athletes and a diverse enough system to be too much for them to handle. But for the likes of Memphis or certainly USF, who are especially USF, who's a gimmick in their own right.
Yeah.
Army's gimmick may be better,
Yeah.
They're stout on defense and they are diverse on offense.
They don't beat themselves either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're disciplined.
Yeah.
They play good football. I think Army would beat USF straight up. On a neutral site, I think they beat them in Tampa straight up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Army's a pretty good team.
He hates Army. I think he might be in the Navy or something.
I think Army.
How can you deduce that from watching Army this season? They beat the shit out of everyone they played.
Annihilated.
Yeah. No, they haven't played a lot of great competition.
And Tyrell Robinson hasn't come back.
Yeah, he comes back I think next week.
When Tyrell Robinson comes back, look, I think that's huge. That's actually because Udo is a very good fullback. Noah Short maybe a little bit of a just a home run hitter for them, but Tyrell Robinson as the other wingback. But I feel like he played fullback for them. I feel like he lined up behind the quarterback before. So I guess they're gonna put him.
I think he's kind of a jack of all trades. They play him at wideout sometimes too.
Yeah,
but,
dude, they're a very real threat once he joins the offense.
I took Navy. Didn't bet this game. Navy 41, UAB 18.
Impressive.
Shout out to the midshipman. Trent Dilfer still hasn't figured out how to defend the option.
Low key, Navy is just as impressive as Army.
Horvath, he can ball.
Yeah.
Patty C, hold on. I want to go back to Kentucky and Ole Miss. Kentucky is 3-2 now. You ready for a bold prediction?
Yeah. What do we got?
They're on bye next week. Man, that's a nice bye though. I got a feeling Vanderbilt might beat them on the 12th of October.
It wouldn't be stunning. That would not be stunning because.
But dude, look, if they get past Vanderbilt, Kentucky could have a special season because Vanderbilt, Florida, and Auburn are all. I mean, Vanderbilt's actually decent. Florida and Auburn are fucking trash. So they could be what? I say they're 3-2 right now. They could be what 6-2 heading into November. Then at Tennessee, home to Murray State, at Texas, home to Louisville. Well, that gets a little tough, but they can win 8.
We're
they
talking
can win
about
7,
Vanderbilt
8.
right now.
No,
Oh,
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Yeah, they can win 7 or 8.
They're 3-2. Who are their definite losses? Probably at Tennessee
and at Texas.
At Texas.
Yeah, maybe they could get Texas though.
I mean,
Texas didn't look good today.
For as close as they played Georgia and to beat Ole Miss.
Yeah,
9-3, 10-2 seems possible. Maybe we're sleeping on them, but
what about Ole Miss though? Ole Miss sitting there now at 4-1 with garbage 4 wins. Like I said, at South Carolina, at LSU, home to Oklahoma.
All right, let me ask you this:
1-2.
Who of these teams is like Kentucky, for instance, is a grind the ball, like Stoops, a defensive coach, does not play that bullshit, does not get into a track meet with Ole Miss, was able to grind on Ole Miss.
Dude, 1 of 11 on third downs, I believe. Stoops that's what I'm saying. This is why I can never take Ole Miss seriously.
Ole Miss 76, 52, 40, and 52 in their previous 4 games.
1 of 11 on fucking third down.
17 points against Kentucky.
Guess what? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. They only rushed for 92 yards. Right, and they were 1 for 11 on fucking.
That's
third
a
downs.
gimmick offense that got fucking exposed by a coach.
It's always a gimmick. That's
knows
why we
how to deal with it.
Why do we? This is annoying. Is every year everyone's like, Ole Miss, they're contenders, and it's like, I will never put them in contention until I see it. Especially running this foo shit.
Well, here's the thing: Tennessee and Ole Miss offensively are pretty much the same team from a schematic standpoint.
I think Ole Miss is a little more gimmicky.
A little more gimmicky.
A little bit more.
You're probably right.
A little bit more.
I would have to agree with you. But still, I think Tennessee could get caught against, a tough defensive team. But it's still, who do I think Ole Miss is prone to get? I think Beamer plays a little bit of like real football, right? So he could get them next
South Carolina, especially at Williams-Brice.
Yeah,
dude, that's a 50-50 game.
Yeah. I think Brian Kelly plays a little bit of bitch ball, so
they play pussy ball. They
could go and win a shootout against LSU. Didn't they just have one the other year against LSU, or who am I thinking?
Yeah, no, it was like 58-55.
Yeah, they could do that one again. Oklahoma, they're just not that good, so they could get off on them, especially.
Trick or Treat is saying that Ole Miss is a 10-point favorite against South Carolina. Take the points.
Yeah, take the points.
Yeah.
Georgia will get hammered by, even in Oxford.
Bad news for Notre Dame, even though they won today. Northern Illinois did lose to NC State, 24-17. The Huskies are now 2-2. It was a good game though. This is another one this was one of the 9 or 12 games that were like a 1-score game. Northern Illinois had the ball, a chance to tie it up. Good game there. They fell short. Tommy Hammock and company, buddy.
But hilarious for Notre Dame's playoff resume. Takes a big hit with Northern Illinois taking another loss there.
I'm telling you, they're going to end up like 7-5.
Might be one of the worst losses on any
top 25
playoff contenders resume.
NC State 3-2. Talk about a phony 3-2, right?
Dude, they're so bad. NC State.
They got Wake next. This schedule's genius. They're going to be 4-2. They got Syracuse after that. They can be 5-2. Dave Doran's gonna look like a genius when he goes 9-3 playing nobody.
Yeah.
I ate shit on this one. I owe the good people an apology.
What do you got?
I had a really good day though, so I don't feel like I should really be apologizing. But I did take 21 points, 21.5 in Ball State, and I also bet on the money line.
Whoopsie!
What the fuck is this, dude?
I gotta look to see what I did.
Where the hell did this come from? The first 2 games, JMU was offensively challenged. I know they scored 30 against Charlotte, but you know that was bullshit.
I took Ball State too,
dude.
22.5. You, Nick, myself. Who took JMU? Let's give credit where it's due. That was.
I can't believe this happened, man. I just can't believe.
Justin Mark. Let's give him a little credit.
J Mark.
Yep.
Old Fashioned Football Podcast. Check it out.
Ryan Mack took Ball State. Dude, we all faded JMU. 22.5. We all thought that last week against North Carolina wasn't enough of a sample size to count on JMU's offense to produce, especially after hanging 13 on Gardner Webb and having to pull away late against Charlotte.
Yeah.
But good God, did that offense go today?
Look, I am sold now. Like,
Dude.
whatever Chesney did at that bye week.
Yeah, Bob Chesney is
that's
now
my guy too.
the bye week
That's my guy.
king of the universe.
If you listen to the FCS college football experience over the past few years, Holy Cross has been my team.
Yeah.
So
you're I'll give you this. You've been ahead of the curve on a lot of fucking coaches
buddy,
coming
that's
out
why
of that.
you subscribe.
Yeah.
YouTube.com/the college experience.
Lance Leipold, fucking
Oh, yeah.
Bob Chesney. I want to see Chris Creighton get a fucking chance.
Oh yeah, he's coming.
At
He's
the
coming down
big
the
times.
pipeline.
Yeah.
63 points though. What? Patty C, let's talk about this. First off, I want to bring up this point. 63-7 was the score.
Yeah.
You put up 63 on Ball State. Miami only put up 62. So how good is the Hurricanes?
Hello.
Now you did give up 7. Miami didn't give up any. But
No, I think we could beat Miami.
I think you could
Miami's
too.
the exact type of team. Like it's a track meet against JMU,
Yeah.
and we might have a better situational coach. I think without a doubt, Bob Chesney's got bigger balls than fucking Mario Cristobal.
Buddy, I'm looking at the remaining JMU schedule, and all of a sudden, now I will say this: next week you're at ULM, and don't sleep on Bryant Vincent and General Booty because ULM is 3-1. Maybe they should have got rid of Bowden because Bill Clark's old offensive coordinator, Bryant Vincent, who UAB didn't want to hire, even though he went 7-6 as an interim, and he stayed with you through the dark years. You wanted Trent Dilfer, this hot shot who threw for 12 touchdowns a season in the NFL, right? You wanted that.
I wonder how many times historically Monroe has ever been 3-1 through 4 games. I bet it's
when
like
they had Stan Humphries in the 80s, they were good. When they had Stan Humphries in the 80s, they were good.
I bet they haven't won 75%. I mean, let me see. I'm gonna pull them up. I want to see how many times they've won because this projects to be like a 8-4 team, right?
Yeah, and guess what? ULM beat Troy. Another money line play for us. I didn't actually bet this one, but the bottom line bombs. We covered this one.
They'll go 9-3. I wonder how many times they've won 75% of the games. I'm gonna pull it up. They have been the worst.
Their only loss is to Texas, one of the best teams in the country. General Booty.
General Booty getting it done.
Watch out, buddy.
Hold on, let me sort this by.
And by the way, that next week that's at Malone Stadium.
Let me tell you this.
Hope that's not Karl Malone.
Hello.
Isn't he La Tech?
I think every 8-year-old girl in the world hopes it's not Karl Malone too. The most wins that ULM has ever had in their 38-year history, assuming that they didn't have an FCS history prior to this, was 8-5. 8-5 was the best season. One time 7-4. Other than that, 6-6.
Bryant Vincent, build him a statue. All right, let's go,
dude. ULM getting it done.
Yeah, and I didn't watch. Yeah, they're saying I think Booty got benched. Did he get benched?
I'd be lying if I said I got the chance to watch it.
I didn't watch it either.
Yeah.
But that game.
Yeah. Armenta, 4 of 6 for 108 yards. Was the leading passer. Just lighting up the stat sheet with 108 passing yards, a 13-9 win over Troy. Man, they're missing. Who was the Troy coach last year?
Summerall. Is that Tulane? Yeah. Patty C, my day did take a slight hit here because I had Wake Forest, who had a 38-34 lead with about 1 minute and 50 seconds left.
Here's what I think is happening here. I think Wake is still a decent team. I think that they've just played some pretty good competition. 1-3. I think you're sleeping on
I ate shit on this one.
How good Louisiana actually is, and how good UVA is. And of course, you want to hate on Ole Miss, but those are 3 good teams that they've lost to.
Sure, but come on, you can't lose these games at home. You're fucking a power school. You can't lose to Louisiana.
But
it's their first ever ACC win.
You really can't lose that.
That's their first ever ACC win. Louisiana. And now it says Wake Forest next to it. Yeah.
Still, Louisiana was winning 10 games for consecutive years just a few years back. They had to go through a coaching change once homie went to Florida. Napier. Now Des Moreau has taken a couple years to get it going, but look, it's getting going for Louisiana.
He's not going to get fired, I don't think. Yeah. Actually, because the Sun Belt is down, he's going to reap the benefits. He's going to pull a Napier and go they're a threat to actually play in the Sun Belt Championship. You know why?
because Texas State.
Oh, another double-digit dog I gave you. Plus 320 on the money line, buddy. I hope you took the points to back yourself up because Sam Houston State in a wild one. This game was insane, by the way. Texas State was up 22-0. Patty C.
I looked at that. I was like, damn.
Unbelievable game there.
Amazing fight out of Sam Houston.
Sam Houston kicks the game-winning field goal with 9 seconds left. Hunter Watson at the quarterback spot was doing it. Your boy Jordan McLeod was pretty solid too. Threw for over 300 yards.
3 touchdowns, 0 picks. Could be a two-time conference player of the year still with a stat line like that.
We're a free show, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for it?
I don't think so.
Kentucky money line. Sam Houston money line. And then I have another big money line that cashed.
What happened?
But Sam Houston, dude, we deserve credit. Me and NC Nick were on this one. Did you join us on this?
Let me see if I picked them.
I don't even remember. You didn't bet it though, right? You didn't bet. You didn't bet Sam Houston. You didn't bet Sam Houston, did you?
Wait, where the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Wait, who they? Oh, God damn it. Who they playing at? Texas State. Maybe I can find it by looking up Texas State.
No, but the Sun Belt is down because Texas State is a team that we thought, like beginning of the year before we saw Sam Houston, we thought this was a win.
Oh, we all took Texas State. You and Nick locked it.
I know. I bet it. I bet it on the money line, and I took it the points. Yeah.
Kramer locked it, or not Kramer? McIntyre.
Yeah, that's right. Money line Mac.
Yeah, I was the only pussy that didn't lock it.
But buddy, the Sun Belt is way the fuck down. Troy looks like absolute shit. App State. We didn't get Liberty and App State today because of the floods. I want to wish the best to everyone involved with that. But
Boone is
that just
underwater.
looks horrible, man.
Yeah.
But I don't think App State's that good this year. Maybe they rally. Coastal hadn't looked the part as much. I mean, they look still decent. My point is the Sun Belt was much deeper a year ago than it was, and maybe Desert Moreau and Louisiana can take advantage of that. So
yeah, they're a real threat.
Yeah.
What? Sam Houston's what conference?
CUSA.
CUSA. So it doesn't really hurt Texas State.
No, but I'm just saying it hurts because we thought Texas State had a great schedule. I know it doesn't affect their Sun Belt chances.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like it's one that I think when we forecast Texas State, we said, oh, they're going to get past Sam Houston. You know, they should be.
It
better.
probably hurts their playoff chances.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I'm saying. So, what else do we got? Arkansas, Texas A&M. These games are always wild.
Yeah, it's just like.
It's just a fascinating game because you had Arkansas outgained A&M by like 85 yards. I feel like,
but lost another. How many of these games have
they
ended?
always A&M always wins by like 3, or 4.
Yeah.
Dude, A&M had 297 yards of offense. They were 4 of 13 on 3rd and 4th down, and they won.
Taylor Green had 279 passing yards by himself.
How the fuck did they win this game? I mean, it was a fun game to watch. It was back and forth, so I can't say that Arkansas definitely deserved to win the game.
If I'm Arkansas, I demand to get out of Texas. To me, if you are playing in another team's home state for your quote neutral site game,
it's going back on campus soon.
Accepting it is.
I think it's one more year of this bullshit.
Yeah.
Then back to campus.
Of all the ones, I mean, world's largest outdoor cocktail party. At least it's outdoor, right? But Arkansas and Texas A&M, like we've said before, these teams are supposed to play outdoors. And for you to play in Jerry's World is a disgrace in the first place, but especially to Arkansas. You're just asking to get the whole mojo of the situation working against you, which I think has happened for long enough now. It's like, dude, play some home games.
I'm with you. Shout out to Tyson. His Wildcats won. Appreciate you tuning in, Tyson, and congrats on the win. I don't know how the hell I covered this game. I didn't bet this game, but just for my competitive nature there. USC, Wisconsin. 38-21. USC covers somehow.
Wisconsin. I like a dumbass.
Were like beating the shit out of them early in the game.
I like a dumbass said on our Wednesday podcast, and I think it was just without giving it much thought, but like I said they weren't going to travel well. Wisconsin motherfuckers came out. I was at the bar on Friday night. There's a shit ton of Wisconsin. My brother saw a bunch of Wisconsin people out.
Wisconsin, they show up, dude.
They showed up.
They show up.
And they had the early lead in this, and I thought, hey, Wisconsin looks great, but was USC got it done.
They
late.
Covered too, and you saw Braylon Allen tweet out some stuff, basically throwing. I think hints at Luke Fickell and this whole administration being bullshit.
I don't like players, shitting on coaches. Let
I do when I said I don't know about this Fickell hire.
Well, you're probably right. I mean, I think in this situation he might be right.
The good thing they got Purdue on deck. They're gonna need that win.
That's a get right game.
That is a get right game right there. Shout out to R Wright giving us $50. He got paid from all of our plays. Let's go.
Boom.
We're gonna talk about this.
You're a gent.
We're grateful, man. Thank you. I don't know what to deduce from this. I don't want to dive too deep on Wisconsin USC, but I will dive deep on TCU beating Kansas 38-27. Kansas falls to 1-4.
Close one. I guess TCU pulled away, but TCU 3-2, Kansas 1-4. How much of that is Kotelnicki being gone?
A little bit, but I also think Daniels getting that NIL money.
Do you think he's resting on his laurels?
I just think that's a new way we got to handicap college football.
15
like
of 34.
The players that first off, he missed all of last season, but then we know he was a hot item. So as far as like other teams wanted him, I'm sure Kansas said,
that's
hey,
impossible to handicap though. How do you project?
Like how they're going to be with money?
Yeah, how they're going to.
No, but I'm just saying this, buddy, is now it's out there in the open. Players can make a shit ton of money.
You got to consider. That's for sure.
Well, I'm saying more players are getting paid now than before.
Yeah.
Right? And you can have a lot of money at 18 years old. Before, you could have a little bit of an edge. Now, they were still paying some. Yeah. I don't think Kansas was paying before. Yeah. Todd Riesling wasn't getting money in that magical run to the Orange Bowl. I'm pretty sure about that.
Jake Sharp was in cashing big checks. Didn't see him driving a Lambo around.
That's
campus
what I'm saying. Is like now you got to forecast that like not only you like the guy around town, but like you got like legit 6 figures in your bank account.
Caleb Williams was living in a penthouse in Los Angeles.
That's what I'm saying. I am friends with a buddy that made a lot of money as a musician, a shit ton of money when he was young. When he was like 19 or 20.
Yeah.
And he talks about it. He's like,
he's
40 now. And he's like, God.
I had no idea what I was going to do.
He was like, I was flying girlfriends from like fucking one day. It was like, oh, this girl that I met in Paris. Oh, let me fly her over here. And then
I got money that'll last
she'd fly
forever.
into LA and then you'd be like, you know what? Let's go. You know what? I got money. Let's go to the bar in New York City this weekend.
Dropping like
right. And you're just like going and you're
$7,000 a day.
You lose. It's human nature. It's human nature. You know what I mean? It's just, it's human nature. You're going to get, your scattered ass starts coming in. Next thing you know, you're spending all crazy and you're not thinking about, hey, we got a big game.
Maybe it's not Jalen Daniels. Maybe it's just Andy Kotelnicki.
That could be too. Anyway, shout out to that game. It was kind of like an elimination game. I think you can kind of stick a fork in Kansas.
Yeah,
I did lose money on Western Michigan. I took them on the money line. And I thought I had it when they scored 14 in the third and had this thing at 17-17. I was like, we got the momentum. Not the case. Marshall gets it done. Charles huffs and he puffs and he blows away the fucking Western Michigan Broncos.
I do believe I got that one. Let me double check.
I think you did. I think you argued that with us.
I was the only one that took Marshall out of the whole fucking crew.
There you go. Talk that shit. Talk that shit. Shout out to the Thundering Herd there. Georgia Southern took care of Georgia State, 38-21. We don't need to talk about that. I will say this. I did bet San Diego State, and they were up. They were up what? I feel like 21-7, maybe.
What happened in that game?
They were up 21-7. They got shut out the second half. Central Michigan, great halftime adjustments.
Came back
and they made a last second field goal. This was a great watch, by the way. That's what I'm saying. Like the games today delivered, man. Even games like this. What does he say? Even small people like you, right? But this was a fun game. I lost money on it though.
Central Michigan 3-2. Nice job fighting for their wins.
UNLV 59.
Holy
Fresno
shit.
State 14. I didn't bet this game, but
dude, is Barry Odom the best coach in the country? What did he take? He took over for who's the dude that was like a legend at Missouri?
Missouri. Oh no, of Gary Pinkel.
He took over for Pinkel. He had a couple 6 and 6 years.
7-6.
7-6. Yeah. 7-5, yeah. They canned his ass, even though he was a good coach. and he gets hooked.
And Hajj-Malik Williams just killing it. 13 of 16, 182, 3 touchdowns. He had like another 95 on the ground.
Dude, he got them in amazing shape right now.
This is why I think the more I look into the story, the more I think Sluka's side was bullshit. We were talking about this in the studio today.
Yeah, we're arguing.
Well, no.
Let's have
know
this
my
conversation.
take. No, but they know my take.
Well, they need to hear my take.
Okay. Well, look, my thing is this though.
Yeah.
Why would they give him $100K? So Matthew Sluka played at Holy Cross the past 4 years, right? He's a grad transfer out of Holy Cross. Very good FCS, but you're in the Patriot League where it's just not the same as
Missouri Valley
or the CAA or the Big Sky.
Yeah.
You know, like those schools are really going for an FCS national championship.
Yeah.
They're spending at that level to win a national championship. So he killed it in the Patriot League, and he actually Holy Cross made the playoffs and even put a scare in South Dakota State. Unbelievable coaching job by Bob Chesney.
Yeah. Great play by Matt Sluka.
Sluka played like I called him Tebow Jr.
Yeah.
And
fair. You're a big Sluka fan.
Yeah, I was. And but at the same time, Hajj-Malik Williams, if you watch Campbell over the past couple of years, he was also in the FCS, and last year he was in the CAA, I think it was, or the Big South before that. But he was a really good quarterback. I can remember me and my brother talking because Campbell's in North Carolina, and he's like, "Who's this quarterback for Campbell?" And I'm like, "Dude, this Hajj-Malik Williams. He's nasty. He's good, right?" They bring in both this offseason. It's a really tight battle. They give the edge to Sluka because of his running attributes. My thing is this though: if they're going to give you, if they don't know that you're going to be the starting quarterback,
how are they going to shell out?
How
are they going to promise you $100K?
How are they going to promise you $100K and then not promise it to another guy in the FCS that was doing it in a better conference?
Yeah, with better passing stats.
Yeah,
that's a fair point. It just
doesn't make sense to me.
And the reports that you mentioned that Sluka supposedly might have just hired after the 3-0 start, hired an agent. And
I've seen speculation about
that he's demanded.
But I've seen so many different stories. But I heard that he hired a different agent, and the agent went in there.
Yeah,
because we know our guy Derek Stevens, who owns Circa, offered Sluka $100K
after the fact.
But apparently he was in contact with the university. But the university's like, no, fuck that.
Yeah,
fuck that.
Interesting.
So why wouldn't they?
Yeah, I mean, because at this point he could still remove his red shirt and get the $100K if Derek Stevens is really offering it, and decide to continue to play for the remainder of the season. It is odd. I would say this, if he's telling the truth, if UNLV, which is a scumbag city, and a scumbag program traditionally, promised him $100,000, and he's
Suge Knight's a good dude, man.
And they promise, and he's probably not going to go pro, and so he has one chance.
How's he supposed to know when he backs a truck up? There's going to be a fucking guy that he knows underneath.
Suge Knight is one of the most piece of shit things I've ever seen. What I'm saying is,
he's just driving his truck.
That's right.
He's got a Hemi.
Yeah.
Right?
You feel a little bump. Why check it? Why check it? Maybe it's someone's head. Maybe it's whatever. Maybe it's a cone. Look, I think Sluka is right to if he was promised $100,000 on principle, let alone the money itself and the chance to go play football at another school, maybe a bigger school. I think he's right to say fuck you, and I'm not going to play for you after you promised me this shit and then you backed out on your commitment. But I understand your point, Kobe, where you say, hey, this is a huge opportunity. UNLV's playing great. You've already kind of committed to this team in the first place, so ride it out, and you become a bit of a UNLV legend if you.
Well, my thing is fame is always more than money. Fame will last you longer than money.
Yeah,
it'll hit you to a different. You'll be on a different plateau, to me, and he made a decision. If he felt disrespected, and we never know what was said to him, but I mean, I think if it was my son, I'm a father now, right? I would have told him, hey man, I hope you learn from it. You can do what you want to do. You're a fucking grown man. You're fucking 23 years old because you graduated already from Holy Cross. You do what you want to do, but you use this as an example. You should have printed out a contract. Right? You should have had that shit signed, right? It should have had something to actually, say that this has actually happened. Because right now we're just taking your word for it.
Yeah.
But I imagine he probably included his dad in all this. But what do I know? Maybe he didn't, right? But also, I would say, son, what the hell? They paid you $3,000 out of this alleged $100,000, so $97,000. What the hell is $97,000 in the? You have a degree already from Holy Cross. I think you could probably play in the CFL. CFL uses a lot of quarterbacks like him. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers have a guy named Chris Strevler. They all have like this kind of Tebow-esque thing in this third down football. I actually think he could play there, and the quarterbacks make good money. So I'd say
Kobe's saying leave $97,000.
I don't think he'll ever have a problem with money. Is my point. And then my thing is this: it'd be different if it was like someone that
You think CFL money is gonna
600,000 is what the quarterbacks make. So I already looked this up. We were talking, but I knew that because I host the CFL gambling podcast. Subscribe.
He does have that potential. It seems like.
Oh, he definitely could play at that.
Who was the guy from Eastern Washington that's had a pretty
Vernon Adams? He's up there. Yeah,
he's playing good ball.
But still, they have one guy. Every team basically has a guy that's like Sluka that comes in on. They do these like almost like rugby plays on third and one.
Yeah,
yeah. So like he would definitely fit that.
Find a contract there.
And I would say you have right now, you've already beaten. Now, if it was beginning of the season, I'd say fuck it, do what you want to do. But I would say right now you're 4-0. You've already beaten 2 Power 5s, and even if you lose to Boise at home, you still might get in the playoff because those 2 Power 5 wins. Your team is good. Now and it wasn't Barry Odom that told you this. This is allegedly the offensive coordinator, right? And I would say it's bigger than him, right? So let's swallow your pride. You made a bad decision by not having signed anything.
Yeah.
And right now you have a moment to be a legend in a place that's never won in football. And not only that, we can go to social media and we can bring in NIL money. We'll sell T-shirts saying I was promised 100K. Shit like that. You could still make money, right? And you
might be onto something. He might be being a little.
Anderson Hunt is the perfect comparison. Anderson Hunt is a guy that was awesome on the basketball team, never made it in the NBA, but he's a fucking Vegas legend. And I feel like he can go anywhere in Vegas and he's good. That could have been him.
We shall see. Yeah. Maybe Sluka's got bigger things in mind, but maybe he is mistaken in his his value on the market. So anyway, only time will tell whether he made. Well,
I can tell you this: quitting on your team the middle of the season and having a 44% completion percentage, you're not going to get $100,000 anywhere else. And I say that with love, as someone that's followed you for the past few years. You're not going to get that anywhere else.
Maybe JMU has something to say about that. We'll see about that.
But he would have went to JMU already because Chesney's his guy. They didn't have that money.
Sure. We're not giving him 100K. Okay. I can tell you that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
Patty C. Louisville did cover for me, but they did not win. Notre Dame 31. Notre Dame needed this.
Yeah.
They needed this. Huge block punt in this game, or miss. Yeah, it's a block punt, I guess.
Tyler Shuck had a nice stat line.
Dude, I mean, Louisville was in this game. That punt was everything. If not for that game, this was a neck and neck. Or if not for that play, this is a neck and neck game.
Yeah. Notre Dame clutch win keeps their playoff hopes alive. That was one of the biggest hurdles they had remaining on their schedule. Let me pull that up. What they have left.
They don't have any more MAC schools, right?
Yeah, right. That's the biggest threat. Notre Dame coming
They're
up.
on bye, right?
Yeah, bye, and then hosting Stanford, a road trip to Georgia Tech, and then neutral site game in East Rutherford, New Jersey against Navy. Probably 3-0 in that stretch. Although
they could lose to Georgia Tech.
They could lose to Georgia Tech.
But that's not even at Bobby Dodd. That's at a filthy stadium.
Yeah. Bye week before hosting Florida State and Virginia. They'll probably get both of those. Army at a neutral site, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Notre Dame probably beats Army. And then they got to go to the
USC game.
USC game, which if they're 10-1, they can even afford to lose.
Are you telling me if they're 11-1?
They're in. They're in if they go 11-1.
Really?
Yes. If they beat USC.
A&M winning today was big for them. A&M winning today was big for them.
Depending on what USC does for the remainder of the season, but USC got a big win today. If USC is 10-1 and Notre Dame's 10-1, whoever wins that game is a lock. And guess what?
Garbage ass schedule.
Whoever loses that game is probably still in too.
What if Northern Illinois is 5-7?
That's a terrible loss. Maybe at that point, a 10-2 Notre Dame team might get squeezed out. It might get squeezed out.
Yeah. They're probably in if they're 11-1, just because the brand, the television ratings. You got to factor this in.
Dude, they deserve it if they lose one game by
that schedule's the easiest schedule in the nation. So I don't
by
know that
2 points on the last second field goal.
Well, they were down that whole game, but
still, that's what happened.
I'm just saying that schedule, in my opinion, if you gave that schedule to a lot of good teams,
one of the worst schedules.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you gave that schedule, I don't know, just
it
throw
doesn't
a team
necessarily mean that they deserve it.
Yeah.
But they will get it.
Oh, of course they will.
They'll get it.
I understand how
it works.
I understand this bullshit. All right. Anyway, shout out to that. And then Patty C, Chris Creighton did take down Kent State 52-33.
Can we talk about the JMU game? We didn't even fucking talk about it. Have we passed that?
We passed that.
I feel like, do we brush on that for a second? Because I want to take a shotgun. I feel like we didn't.
We'll do it for Chris Creighton.
All right, let's do it for Chris
52-33. Patty C, the win total is 4.5 for Eastern Michigan. And one of my biggest bets, they're 4-1 right now. Next week, they host the Miami, Ohio Redhawks, who needed overtime and needed a last-second field goal to get to overtime to beat UMass in overtime. I think you might get it done next or on October 12th. All right, dude. Do your shotguns. YouTube.com/the college experience.
Oh boy.
Get on over there. And yeah, let's go.
Shotgunning a Michelob Ultra is a little tougher. There's little tiny ass cans.
Yeah.
Bitch ass cans.
I don't think you should say that publicly.
Yeah, sorry. Here we go.
I don't think anyone's ever shotgunned a
Michelob Ultra
in their
your
life.
fitness drink that you shotgun. This is not for. This is for JMU. You know, this is not for Eastern Michigan. This is for JMU.
Okay.
Cheers.
To the Dukes, YouTube.com/the college experience.
First team since LSU in 2019. You know, the greatest fucking football team that ever played. Yeah, first team to hang 63 in back-to-back weeks. JMU. Here we go.
I like Mark in the chat. You got it, buddy. All right. All right.
Boom.
There you go. Wipe your vagina.
There's a lot of beer on that fucking table.
Wipe that vagina. Buddy, you gotta learn. Maybe. Hey, you know what? Maybe you go get a paper towel.
Maybe I get like
maybe you go get a paper towel.
But no, I'm good. I'm gonna wipe it all over myself. Here we go.
We're good. I think you gotta get a paper towel.
No, I'm good. I wiped it off the desk. I wiped it onto myself.
It's still gonna be sticky as fuck over there.
No, well, we'll get it later. Let's go.
Right. Shout out to Eastern Michigan, 4-1. And then look, I know we got to switch over to the B side here in a second.
We're
but
still on the A side. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tout something else.
What do we got?
You know, some people laughed at me. I was on a show this week, and they couldn't believe that I was taking this. And I said, not only do you take the points, you're gonna sprinkle the money line, because guess what? I tried to tell you specifically, Patty C, that the Colorado Buffaloes defense is vastly improved. Can you say plus 360? All right, plus 360. And a lot of these people are hating. Deion was not going to get embarrassed by his home fucking town.
Colorado too.
I know, but I just all season was saying.
You locked it though.
I took the fucking money line. I took the points.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about something, Patty C? How about the nation's fourth best rushing attack?
Well, let's give Kramer and Moneyline Mac a little shit.
Yeah.
They both took UCF.
Moneyline Mac thought they were going to destroy him.
Yeah, Moneyline Mac.
A little bit of haterade there.
Locked UCF.
Buddy, Colorado dominated this game. If you watch this game, Colorado dominated this football game.
Colorado was going to do fine when it came to Big 12 play. I think they're very much a contender for the Big 12 championship.
Well, they're 4-1 and 2-0 in the conference. All right.
Here's
and
the thing
that was one of their harder games, I thought.
Here's the thing about the Big 12. What is the team in the Big 12 that Colorado absolutely can't bang with?
Utah.
You would think Utah,
Probably,
but Utah without Cam Rising is at such a skill.
They don't have Cam Rising.
Skill position deficit that Colorado could compensate for that disadvantage in the trenches by beating them on the edges. So I think Colorado has the potential to beat any team in the Big 12.
But wait a second here. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but 5.5 was the win total. I locked up the Colorado over, and they're 4-1. Patty C,
looking good.
4-1.
Prime time.
Let's
Look,
go.
I said this a couple weeks ago that he is a youth football coach, right? At best, a high school football coach. I still think that's true. I think it just works with
but
the
I
amount of
also
talent.
I also think this, and I was skeptical of him, and I said things I don't like his adjustments sometimes, or his lack of adjustments. But I also think you learn how to coach by experience. Like I can remember Bill McCartney when he took over Colorado pre the national championships. Like he sucked for like 4 or 5 years, and like he was learning the way.
Yeah,
and I think that could be said for a lot of coaches.
Yeah.
Well,
Deion's learning curve is gigantic, but you have to admit, he's got to be learning, and the fact that the other stuff that he brings to the table extends his leash that much longer. He has the opportunity to keep learning. There's not all that pressure like coming down his back to get it done or get the fuck out of there. Deion can probably stay there for how many years
forever.
of like 6 and 6 will Colorado tolerate?
Dude, they're making a shit ton of money. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah, they would take a lot of it, I would say. And Travis Hunter's the best player in college football. I just want to hammer that home. No one's even close to me. No one's even fucking close to
I
Travis
saw him
Hunter.
score. Did he get 2 touchdowns today?
No, but he had a huge interception where he comes off his guy. It was like the TCU interception in a way, a smaller version of that. Remember that goal line one where he laid out? He did that.
He is a baller.
Dude, he's fucking incredible. He also had a huge stop on a 4th down where
he's been physical at times where I've been like, he's more physical than I thought. I still think he needs to hit the weight room really hard. I think he needs 1 more year in college football.
What?
Which I think college.
What are you talking about?
No, I think
he's a top 5 draft pick.
A skilled ass cornerback. I agree with that, but I think he would benefit from a year in the weight room.
9 for 89 and a touchdown receiving.
He's a talented player. Yeah, there's no denying it.
Yeah. Anyway,
he's just a little skinny still.
Colorado money line play. I mean,
how much does Travis Hunter weigh?
Show.
If Travis Hunter
it's
weighed
a free show,
205 instead of let me see.
This guy, he's a beast. He's a fucking beast. He's the best player in college football.
He's a skinny fucking.
He's the best player in college football.
That is not a pro body. 185.
Buddy, he will be awesome in the NFL.
Especially at 6'1". He's good. He's very. Yeah, I think he'll be good. But I think this dude, if he just
fucking L. Train James made the fucking Pro Bowl in the NFL. All right,
that's true. But a different skill set. But what I'm saying is, like, who are the best corners to have like, in terms of
Darrell Green was very small.
Sheer physical dominance, right? Darrell Green also ran a 4.2, which Travis Hunter does not.
Okay, but Travis Hunter's way better against the run than Darrell Green.
Okay, and Darrell Green, was a specialist in a sense. Look, I think Travis Hunter, yes, if he came out right now, would be.
Is he playing corner or wide out or both in the NFL? That's the question. Dude, he's the best receiver in the nation.
You're out of your mind.
Who's better? Honestly, what Burden and McMillan? You can't put that many receivers over.
He's a good receiver, but no, I will not put him among the best receivers in the nation.
This year?
Yes.
I disagree with you.
You might be.
I think he's a top 5 college football wide receiver right now.
All right. Well, look, maybe the stat. What is he? 37 catches through how many games?
What are they? 4 games? 4 and 1. 5 games?
5 games. So he's getting like 7-8 catches a game. 472 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's putting up good stats.
Who the fuck is better than besides Burden and McMillan? Give me a receiver that's better than him.
Off the top of my head, I think Indiana's receiver Surratt.
Get the fuck out of here, dude.
No, I 100% think that.
Oh my god,
I 100%.
No more alcohol. That's a ridiculous statement,
dude. That is
a ridiculous statement.
Polished route running. He's an athlete that is out on the edge. He's been.
All right, you're crazy. That is a horrible take.
Okay, whatever. Let's keep going.
You gonna tell me Steve Kerr's better than Jordan? What are you gonna tell me next? Elijah Surratt is better than Travis Hunter.
At wide receiver,
we just lost all our subscribers. All right,
let's look at their stats and see who's performing better.
Yes, look at them.
All right,
pull up Elijah Surratt, because I had him in DFS one game where he had like 1 fucking catch. All right, get the fuck out of here.
Elijah Surratt, you're right this year.
Yes.
Only 15 catches.
Ridiculous statement.
But last year,
this guy's got 250 yards and 1 touchdown.
Last year, 82 catches for 1,150 yards.
Okay. Last year, Travis Hunter missed a fucking month.
Okay, is Travis Hunter on pace to duplicate those?
He's got 720. No, he's got last year. Travis Hunter had 721 yards and missed a month.
Okay, Travis Hunter's a good receiver. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying when I look at the motherfucker, right? When I look at his route running, right? He does not strike me as a professional wide receiver.
You're crazy. You're looking at these things under 20 Jaeger bombs.
No,
I'm putting any credibility.
Every day that I watch the game of college football, okay, and I'm watching a dude that gets targeted by Deion Sanders, who specifically with Shedeur Sanders is trying to create a market.
You sound very bad right now.
I don't give a fuck how I sound. when Travis Hunter emerges as an elite pro wide receiver, then you can talk shit to me.
Well, I'll be talking
until
shit. Trust me. That day is coming.
I will talk shit to you.
That day's coming, and hell's coming with
stupid.
it, buddy. All right?
Okay.
Hi, we're the College Football Experience. We're a couple of fucking idiots, but I'm right. Just to let you know, Hunter is a baller. He's the best player I've seen in college football in like 20 fucking years. Anyway. Folks, if you're listening on if you're still out there listening to this show, this is the A side. Stay put on YouTube, all right? But we're gonna close out the audio side of the A side and jump to the B side for the listeners out there. Give Patty C a follow on Twitter at PattyC831. Let him know how fucking stupid he is with that take. I'm on Twitter at TheColBD. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. All right, and we're back. And by the way, those stats I quoted they haven't even updated today's stat line. So that's 4 games.
I doubt they updated Surratt's, who had a pretty good game today too.
But he came in with 15 catches for 250 yards. They're not comparable. All right.
Well, last year's stats. Compare last year's stats.
Okay.
They're not comparable. Elijah Surratt had more than twice as many receiving yards as or about twice as many receiving yards as Travis Hunter. So
twice.
Who was better last
1,100 yards?
Yeah, almost 1,200 versus how many? 700.
But he missed a month, dude. I just told you
he
about
missed
this.
it. So because he's a pussy, because he couldn't fucking stay in a game, because he's a fucking pussy.
Because he got cheap shot.
Maybe Elijah Surratt took some shots too, but managed to.
You're
handle
playing in the Sun Belt. You're fucking playing in the shitty Sun Belt. What are you talking about?
The Sun Belt, who was fucking kicking the ACC's ass.
The Pac-12s last year was pretty damn good.
Fuck that. All I know is the JMU.
All right, buddy. All right, let's stop it.
Yeah.
Let's stop it.
Yeah, Travis Hunter's the
This
king.
is the beginning of the episode. No one is. No
one
one's
knows
gonna listen
what the fuck
to
we're
talking about. Anyway, UMass did cover for me against Miami, Ohio.
Yep.
Go check out the A side for all the other ones too. Oklahoma Auburn game was hilarious. Oklahoma 27. Auburn 21. Oklahoma had no business winning this game. I picked Oklahoma. I didn't bet this game, but if you watch this game, Oklahoma had no business winning this game. But count on Hugh Strip Club Freeze and Peyton Thorne to throw a critical pick 6.
Is Hugh Freeze trying to give it away?
Auburn had almost 500 yards of offense. Oklahoma had 291, and they won. Incredible.
Oklahoma needed that one bad. Because
I worry about Oklahoma, but they are 4-1.
I project them at 7-5, and I projected them as 7-5 with a win over Auburn. If they had taken an L today, it would have been a 6-6 finish, which would have been astronomically terrible for Auburn, or for Oklahoma rather.
Yeah. Slope side is right. Top 5 wideout and best corner in the nation. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, Oklahoma, Petty C. I do worry about them moving forward. Texas in the Red River Shootout, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Maine. Look at the Black Bears coming to town.
That's weird.
At Missouri, home to Bama, at LSU. There's a shot. They go 5-7. I think they're probably going to go. If I had to place a wager on that, realistically, what I thought their record was going to be, I think 5-7 is probably where I would have them. Maybe 6-6.
They're going to get one of those.
Well, they're 4-1. They're not 3-1. I'm sorry. I'm looking at this saying 3-1.
Yeah. But
they haven't updated this yet. So no. I would say
probably 1 or 2.
I think they're going to be 6-6. Yeah. 6-6 is what they'll end up.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
7-5 at best.
Yeah.
At best, right?
Yeah, definitely. That offense sucks. But I did lock up my money line plays weren't over, Patty C.
What else you give us?
ECU. Oh, this was not a money line play. This was they were favored, but I still bet on ECU, and I like to play the song, so I was trying to make it make sense there. ECU 30, UTSA 20. Patty C, we're gonna win the AAC.
What's your league record right now?
1-0.
1-0. That's right. 1-0 in conference. Jake Garcia did throw for 2 interceptions.
And one almost cost us the game. One almost cost us the game.
I'm guessing that puts him back in the lead.
He is at 10 or 11.
National lead for interceptions.
Yep. And guess what? They're at Charlotte next week. We'll talk about them in a little bit. Then at Army. If we get through Army, this schedule is
you're gonna
genius.
get your ass kicked by 30 against Army.
I'm just saying, like if they show up against Army, the rest of the schedule is incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And if I have a 12-inch dick, then I'm going to be a porn star. But we're going to wait on seeing it if that happens anytime soon.
If
yeah, and maybe if I grow a 12-inch dick, just like maybe if ECU finds a way to beat Army.
Buddy. I think no more shot getting mixed Mick Ultras, right? Because this is taking a turn for the worst. ECU covers for me though, and I get it done. I had the money line in the North Carolina Tar Heels, and it was looking great when they were up 20-0 with 5 minutes left in the third. They're up 20-0, and I'm like on cruise control. No, not the case. And this one, I'm going to be honest, I did not take the points. I mean, I did on the sheet, but I'm saying in real life, my wagers. I just played Carolina money line because I was like, what's 2.5, 3 points? I got to beat them outright. No, not the case. Manny Diaz and Duke rally and score 21 unanswered.
Was an absolute contrast in styles, which I love to see from Duke and North Carolina. All offense for North Carolina, all defense for Duke. At the end of the day, North Carolina still covered because the spread was what, 3?
Yeah, but I didn't take the points, man. I just took the money line because I got ahead of myself.
We both lost because I took Duke on the points. So North Carolina covered, but they lost.
Mac Brown just got fired today. This is the official nail in the coffin. You blow a 20-point lead.
It's a tough loss. It's a tough loss.
Manny Diaz, 5-0, Patty C.
Doing it.
Are they going to the ACC championship?
They very well could. Great coaching job for Manny Diaz so far.
It's just what a train wreck. I can't believe I lost that game. 20-0, 5 minutes left. I'm talking shit. I'm ready. I was feeling great. Mississippi State gave Texas more than they bargained for, man. Like I know that Mississippi State covered, but like this was like a 14-6 game, like third quarter.
A 22-point win wasn't cutting it. What was the spread on this one?
38.
Yeah. Texas shits the bed in this one. Arch Manning, 26-31, 324 and 2 touchdowns. Can't hate on that stat line.
You can't. They have a great schedule though.
Texas or
so Texas has got the Red River. They have a bye and then the Red River shootout. Well, they have Georgia. And you know what? Vanderbilt looks a little harder than we thought.
Texas probably.
Please Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Please Vanderbilt.
Best.
Come on.
That'd be the best.
Come on, Diego Pissing Pavia. I don't know what to make of that. Mississippi State, I think, is horrible. I think they're maybe the worst Power 5 in the country.
Yeah. I think what the takeaway from that is maybe Texas isn't quite as good as we thought they were.
Yeah, I don't know what to make from these. I mean, the Michigan game is Texas' best win. When you look at it, like, I mean, Colorado State's terrible. UTSA is terrible. ULM wins their best win. They beat General Booty.
Well, Texas over Michigan is like, okay, you can hang with them in the trenches. Yeah. You have nullified Michigan's advantage that they have over almost everyone else in the country.
I agree.
Right, that they lean on, and then you could just take pot shots on them with the fact that you have a much more advanced skill set, whether it be quarterback, receiver, even on the defensive side of the ball.
No, you're right. You're right. To me, like, we'll see when did they? Who's the best? The best quarterback they played is General Booty.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying right now because Oklahoma's offense is horrible. Dude, they are. Oh my God. When you really think about this, I'm not even messing with you. I think the best offense they played is ULM.
Yeah.
Like Colorado State's offense is ass. Michigan's offense is ass.
Texas could get destroyed by Georgia.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah.
They could, man.
Yeah.
They're going to go, dude, they're going halfway through the season. They're going to October 19th before they take on like an actual decent offense.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Nice. Anyway, shout out to the Longhorns getting that dub. And then NC Nick. Bowling Green couldn't get it done. The Monarchs of Old Dominion with a late score to get the dub against Bowling Green. Patty C. ODU gets their first win of the season. They're 1-3. Big win for the Sun Belt as Bowling Green moves to 1-3. Maybe Leffler isn't turning that corner.
Bowling Green finds a way to lose, whether it's against elite competition or poor competition.
Yeah. Yep. FAU takes care of Wagner. Folks, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy Pick'em is always adding to their awesome menu. They now have first touchdown predictions. There's a ton of ways to win with the NFL, college football, CFL, MLB, MMA, and much, much more. Their lobby is jam-packed with profit boost and no sweat entries. You can now use specials and boost on all flexed entries as well. So sign up, and when you do, sign up with the promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. All right, we are back talking more college football. Yeah. Let's go to I talked FAU beat Wagner. I know you guys were waiting for me to mention that one. How about this money line play? A little short little yapper. The airport, Mike McIntyre, Florida International takes down Louisiana Tech 17-10 at Pitbull Stadium. You don't just walk into Pitbull Stadium and not expect them to play the classics, all right? They're playing the classics. They get it done, Patty C. Another dog of mine that I did wager on.
Louisiana Tech, I thought was looking
horrible.
Pretty good. But
they're
yeah,
a horrible
they're bad
team.
again.
They're bottom five.
Yeah.
FIU gets that big win. Hope you listened to me and tailed me on that. And then Kennesaw State, life in the.
They're going 0-12.
They are, because UT Martin came into Fifth Third whatever stadium and won 24-13.
Yeah.
Scored 14 in the third, and that was the difference.
Hey, everyone can't be JMU in their transition to the
or Sam Houston,
apparently.
Right? Tough first season. I did lose a wager on this, and I feel like I was on the right side. I really feel now. Money. I did bet the money line in this. What was not the right side, but the points was the right side. I had Houston plus 16, and this was a 3-0 game at halftime. Iowa State was up 3-0 at halftime. 10-0 going into the fourth.
They shat the bed.
Houston was at the 5-yard line. All they do is score, and I'm good. I cash this.
That would put the game at 7 points with what, like 7 minutes left in the game.
Like 4 minutes left.
4
I
minutes
feel
left
like
in the game.
And then a 98,
and the spread
like
is
85-yard touchdown run. Yeah.
16.
Yeah.
So instead, they maintained the 13-point lead, and then like you said, Iowa State bust out a 95-yard touchdown run or so.
It was like
20-0. Yeah.
That was a tough beat. I feel sorry if you took Houston.
I hope you took the under.
Yeah, hopefully you did that too.
But for a 1-4 team to be playing a 4-0 team that close, that just shows you how much of a slim margin there is between the top and the
Iowa
bottom
State's
of the Big
like number
12.
17 in the nation or something.
Yeah.
Daniel had Houston plus 19.5. That's tough, brother. ULM took care of Troy. Like I said, one of the low-key great coaching jobs. Bryant Vincent at ULM right now. Tulsa got destroyed. North Texas, Patty C, 52. 52. Dude, it was.
This was the North Texas team I took a few weeks ago on my lock when they got fucking killed. What?
I got to get you some North Texas gear.
Fuck right? North Texas, man.
They were up 45-3. Dude, I'll be honest. I thought Tulsa was going to win this game. I really thought Tulsa was going to win this game. I was on Sports Grid. They randomly asked me this out of the whole slate of games.
I took
what
Tulsa.
Are you doing in this North Texas Tulsa game? Well, I didn't bet it, but I'll take Tulsa. I think they could be live to win it on the money line. Wow.
Yeah. Well, let let me pull up North Texas's football slate. What was the game that
they're 4-1 now? Believe it or not.
Disappointed me.
They beat South Alabama. It was the Texas Tech game. They lost 66-21.
Yeah, and they were down like 60-0 at half.
They might be alive for this AAC championship you speak of. All right. Don't worry, Army will run for 10,000 yards on them in a couple weeks.
4-1. They're actually decent. How did I pick the 1 week where they absolutely shit the bed?
Oh man, that was great. That was great.
There's Eric Morris, the head coach.
Eric Morris agency. Yeah.
38 years old, getting it done.
Hey, shout out to the Mean Green. Big win. I had another money line play as a 7-point dog. Short little yapper. Biff Poggi and the Clits. They almost blew this thing.
That was a sweat.
That was a legit sweat. It felt great to watch this one. Charlotte 21, Rice 20. Rice misses a game-winning field goal.
That was a chip shot too.
Oh, it was a 39-yarder.
Loser.
I mean, Charlotte with the big-time drive to go up 21-20, and then I'm like, oh, there's only 40 seconds left. Rice isn't going to be able to move on the stout Biff Poggi defense. Well, they moved a little bit. But
old EJ Warner.
We got it done. We got it done. And another dog cashes.
2-3 for Charlotte.
Yes.
You were telling me you were very much hoping for Charlotte to sustain some wins so that the Biff Poggi drink.
Yes, there's a drink. I'm in talks. Don't reveal too much, but there's a Biff Poggi cocktail out there in the universe that I've gotten my hands on, and I might have the creator of the show or of the drink on the show. I just need Charlotte to win football games, so anyone gives a fuck.
I'll drink a Biff Poggi any day of the week.
I believe the whole chat believes that.
Pause.
Stanford got waxed by Clemson. You know, this is an interesting one. Shout out to Clemson, but I just want to mention this, Patty C. Clemson 405 total yards. Stanford 361.
I don't think you could take too much away from that. I think Clemson proved themselves early and often.
I agree, but I will say that like Troy Taylor plays fucking wild as a head coach. He goes for these fourth downs, like, and I get it. You're a 22 point dog or whatever, 23 point dog on the road. But damn, they were moving the ball some in that Clemson defense. That's all I'll say. Is like they were moving it more efficiently.
Let me tell you what. Yeah. We heard that clip from your boy from ECU. We won this game last week.
Yeah.
On fourth down or whatever. Steve Logan, right? And I saw JMU do that with Bob Chesney in week 1. We were going for it on fourth down against ECU every fucking fourth down we faced. And it was like, dude, be a little more conservative, kick a field goal. But when your team understands that that's the expectation, it's convert on fourth down or bust. That becomes the mojo of your team. And so if you have to take a loss in the process against the likes of Clemson when you're Stanford, in order to learn that, hey, we go for it on fourth down, maybe Stanford gets that fucking big dick energy and they become a force in the future. So I like it.
Yeah, and the chat's talking about the Stanford quarterback, Ashton Daniels being injured. But yeah, my point is, I mean, I know he only threw for 75 yards or something, but they got creative offensively. Is my point. Like I had the game on. I mean, I watched the game. I didn't watch it as closely as some of the other ones because I thought it would be a blowout. But I looked up several times and like Stanford had the ball on their side in their territory, and I was like, that was surprising to me because I thought that Clemson defense would shut him down. Yeah. But he kept going for fourth downs, man. He went for a couple fourth downs there. But yeah, you're right. I mean,
sometimes you got to tell your team.
Clemson covered. Shout out to them. Yeah.
Clemson's a good football team.
They are good. They look.
I think they're a playoff contender, actually.
Definitely.
Klebnik looks like fucking Michael Vick out there.
He does. Yeah. He does. Right. He's running for 50-yard touchdowns every week.
Yeah.
I had Memphis minus 24 or 25. That did not hit as they struggled, man. I don't know about Memphis, man. Silverfish.
They didn't really struggle. They kicked Middle
Tennessee's. Do I need to remind you of what happened? Middle Tennessee beat a bad Tennessee Tech in the FCS by 7 week 1.
Middle Tennessee is terrible, but still a 17-point win isn't necessarily a struggle.
Well, I mean, Western Kentucky was up 49-7 on
yes. Do I think Memphis would win a playoff game? Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think they're a little
Yeah.
a little soft there. Illinois though did cover for me with the 18 points. I also took the money line, so it was a decent.
Easy play.
Yeah.
Easy play. Good job.
Are you concerned about Penn State at all, Patty C?
Sure. I mean, I think Penn State is the same team they've always been. I think James Franklin is the same coach he's always been. And I think 10-2, depending on who they're playing, they're going to beat the teams they're better than. They're going to lose the teams they're worse than. And then in the playoffs, maybe one win and then they're out. If that's satisfactory to you, Penn State fans, that's what you're going to get.
Yeah. Nice cover for the Illini. I thought that line was ridiculous. Ohio State covered the 24 against Michigan State, won 38-7.
Nice. They were struggling early.
One of those catches was incredible.
What was it?
Who was that? Was that Jeremiah Smith with the catch? Who was that with that fire
no, it was
catch?
17. Yeah, Jeremiah Smith. 17-7 for a lot of the first half of that game, and then Ohio State pulled away at the end of the second quarter, and then never looked back.
Yeah. And then the big one, Bama, Georgia. Oh my God, this game was great.
What a game!
Alabama up 28-0 had me. So of course I bet on Georgia, and Alabama up 28-0. I was like, this thing's cooked.
Yeah.
I actually think if there's 5 more minutes in this game, Georgia wins.
Yeah.
Probably. But what a win for Kalen DeBoer. First ever SEC game here. The place was rocking. This game was awesome. There was a point in the game where there was 3 turnovers for a game that was team was up 28-0. Like most times you turn it off.
Yeah.
This one was you were actually able to still enjoy with the team up 28-0. And
is that because you wanted Bama to win, or did you?
No, really? I bet on Georgia. So like if anything, I wanted Georgia to win. So but it was just a fun watch. Like it was like turnovers. There was just a lot of like big time plays.
I knew Georgia was never out of it.
Ryan Williams is fucking incredible. Remember Georgia grabbed that lead, and then the next play was like an 80-yard touchdown to Ryan Williams. Yeah. That's one you could argue. That's one that, but like I said Travis Hunter's top 5. Ryan Williams might be top 5 already into his young career.
17 years old.
Stud. Just a fucking stud.
That's wild.
What do you make of this win though? I actually think if you are Patty C, is Georgia, should we worry about Georgia with a 1-point win against Kentucky?
Yes, you should worry about Georgia.
They didn't traditionally. I don't know that I've ever seen a Kirby Smart team down 28-0.
Let's talk about Carson Beck. He did not play a great game today. You know,
he's kind of a lawn chair at times.
Yeah, fumbles, interceptions.
He did throw for 439 yards though.
Look, he also fucking.
He's not that great of a quarterback. Well,
shredded Georgia's defense. Yes, he
3
did.
interceptions, and it probably should have had a 4th there. There was one that hit a guy right in the hands. Georgia can't really run the ball though, buddy.
Yeah, I think
80 rushing yards.
Georgia hasn't impressed me as the diverse, high-powered offense that they typically are, and defensively. Look, Alabama kind of got off on them today. Granted, with DeBoer and the talent that's out Alabama.
I'm a huge fan of Jalen Milroe. I like his game.
Let me ask you this: is the talent that is out at Alabama and DeBoer's coaching chops and high-powered offense more powerful than anything Alabama's ever had?
Yes.
Even with Kiffin there and all the talent they had while he was the OC,
I think so.
You think he's got that offense at a different level?
I mean, I don't know. At one point, they had so many good skill position players.
Yeah. Like
maybe in a year or two, but I tell you this: Ryan Williams definitely looks incredible for a 17-year-old.
And if Milroe plays really efficient football, he's a weapon that
he's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Fucking really fun player to watch.
Yeah.
Unbelievable win. Now, Patty C. So Georgia has 1 loss. If they had 3 losses, would they make the playoffs?
No, Georgia's out with 3 losses. I think no team,
because they're at Texas in a few weeks.
If any team were to make the playoff with 3 losses, which we look back over the last 8, 10, 15 years, I think and most of the time 10-2, there's competition at 10-2 for the 12 seed, you know?
Yeah.
But maybe occasionally once every 5 or 6 years, a 9-3 team might sneak in. Georgia would probably be that team. So maybe this year, depending on how things shake out, they can get in at 9-3. But I would count on most years 9-3. You're not getting in.
They're at Texas on October 19th. They're at Ole Miss on November 9th. And don't forget about the UMass game on the 23rd. Said, got to build on that rivalry.
Yeah.
People don't even realize that UMass was added to the SEC.
Georgia UMass.
Everyone just got caught up in the headlines of Texas and Oklahoma. Forgot that UMass is that addition into the Southeastern Conference.
Georgia Tech could give them trouble too.
What about Bama though? Like, you think Bama's now a lock for the playoffs?
Bama's remaining schedule. They have.
You want to make a wager?
South Carolina.
You want to make a wager that Vanderbilt gives Alabama all they can handle next week at the construction zone?
I will make a wager. What kind of point total are we talking about?
I don't know. It's not out yet, I don't think.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't be surprised if
Pissing
Vandy
Pavia.
makes it a little more interesting.
Let's
than
go.
Most people would expect.
Let's go, Pissing Pavia.
I think at Tennessee is potentially a loss. Hosting Missouri.
No, I got them losing at Tennessee.
Yeah, that's probably a loss. Hosting Missouri, I feel like is is the next most dangerous game on their entire schedule, even more so than going to LSU.
No, at LSU's got to be the one.
LSU sucks. Alabama's going to the playoff after this one.
Probably right. That's a win. That's gonna hold some weight. So, and they look good. DeBoer is such a fucking good coach. Yeah. And the emergence of Ryan Williams. I'll be honest. When I looked at their roster this year, I was like, I knew he was like a highly touted guy, but I didn't think he would be this fucking good this early on. So it's kind of a difference maker there. South LSU 42, South Alabama and Fluff Bothwell 10.
Yeah. Impressive. Nice bounce back spot for LSU.
You're giving them shit and Fluff Bothwell and they look LSU had almost 700 yards of offense. So I mean, South Alabama looked good against App State the week before.
Garrett Nussmeier, I believe, number 4 passer for the day, 26 of 39, 409, 2 interceptions though.
Got to worry about it.
Along with his 2 touchdowns.
Got to worry about it. And then I did lock up Bronco Mendenhall in New Mexico to get it done, as they did in the Rio Grande rivalry, 50-40. Mendenhall gets his first win of the Lobos.
Boom.
Should have beat Montana State week 0.
That should have come weeks ago. But congrats, Bronco.
There we go. Nice wager. Speaking of wagers, if you got in on Texas Tech like me and NC Nick did, and Patty C, I will give you the floor because I will say that I did receive a tweet that was directed towards, I think that's the subject that would bother you so much about the
ending of that game.
Well, just the fact they called targeting, but then like no targeting, and it's like, is it roughing?
We have a fucking problem in this in the game of college football, and that's why Colby and I were looking it up for the better part of 20 minutes after this shit happened. When did the rules start where the defense was given the opportunity to substitute players for as long as they needed, really, while the offense waited for them to substitute?
We were trying to find this online because I know it's become a much bigger thing in today's day and age, but I kind of always thought the defense, I mean, not always, not obviously in 1895, but I'm saying, like, I thought it's been for a little bit now that
I thought it was like the last 7 to 10 years that we started to see defenses be given the opportunity to substitute at their own pace to account for offensive substitutions, right? To my knowledge, in the 90s, early 2000s, when I was watching football growing up, it was always the defense's responsibility to keep up with the offense. You know, the offense substitutes at their own will, and the defense has to have 11 players on the field at the time of the snap, right? And regardless of what the offense did substitution wise, it was the defense's responsibility to put.
But I've seen this a lot over the past. It's not just this game. But
this
I know
is definitely not a new development.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where it's like so essentially what happened in this game is Cincinnati was driving. They and I think it has something to do with the late substitutions. Well, if I was curious, we were reading one thing. It sounded like if you bring in new substitutions under 30 seconds, and the defense has a chance to respond to that.
Chat, please look this up for us.
Well, we were trying to find actually like what is the official ruling on that, because essentially, the line judge, it takes forever for a D tackle to get off the field, and they got
especially when they're walking off the field.
Yeah,
the offense is waiting while 15 seconds of precious time run off the clock, and the defense is just lollygagging off the fucking field.
Yeah,
running the clock.
But we've seen a ton of teams do this.
I get it, and yes, and you have to fault Scott Satterfield for that game management, substituting players, knowing that the defense could take advantage of that. That is bad coaching, knowing that that is the rule. But my beef is with the fucking rule. Why should the defense be given that amount of time, and why isn't the clock stopped while the defense takes that time? It's just stupid. It's just it's to me it's as bad as targeting. It's as bad. Wow. It's as bad as the fucking targeting rules.
I'll push back on you some. I like, to me, I hate, like, what are you supposed to do? Just line up everybody on the sidelines and then, like, I want to know the ruling.
Yes,
I have issues with that. Then I think the game would suck if that was the thing.
Well, we went at each other very hard. Colby and I, generally of a similar mindset here, and we were not in agreement on this. And so, we would love to get your guys' opinion on this, but I thought that was an unfortunate.
Well, I think the bigger thing is, like, can you find I would like to know the exact rule on it.
Yeah, like, that too.
Yeah.
There's so many rules in football that I still don't understand after watching like a trillion fucking games.
Well, they constantly change shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're not,
here's one that I don't get. When you cross the goal line, right, and the ball is out of balance, but you cross the goal line, I feel like sometimes the plane of the end zone extends infinitely, right? So it's a touchdown as long as you dive across the end zone without any part of your body touching out of bounds. And sometimes I feel like if the ball is outside of the pylon, it's not a touchdown. I feel like that changes depending on which fucking broadcast you're watching every fucking game. Like, can we get some consistency in this shit?
I want lasers.
Yeah, let's get lasers. Can we get lasers?
No, I will say, like, I just want to know the official ruling on that, because part of my argument will be, if they have a ruling of if you substitute after 30 seconds, or I'm sorry, like, after the 30-second mark, and you're bringing in players, kind of abruptly, then they want the defense to respond to that or have some time to respond to that. Then to me, it is on Satterfield, because if that's a rule, then I put it on the coach. Then
if it's a rule and it is a rule, then that's on Satterfield.
Yeah.
In this game situation, it is 100% on Satterfield, and I have no counter to that. But I will say, as a rule in general, the offense is supposed to be at the advantage when it comes to substituting, and it's the defense's job to respond. And the fact that you're giving the defense the complete advantage here, and I'm a dude that wants the defense to win most of the time, but this is fucking bullshit. You got to do something, especially when the defense is really kind of able to run out the clock. I
like that strategy though.
I hate
it's
it.
like, if you want to play pussy ball.
It's not pussy ball to substitute players into the game.
No, but they're playing like super fast. You know what I mean?
Look at this guy.
I don't like that shit. Fucking Rich Rod bullshit. You're just running up there. You know what I mean?
To play fast football,
and they never call a false start.
Offensive to you?
They never call a false start on that shit. False starts all the time. Everyone's in the chat saying, "What are we even talking about?" Yeah, I don't know. Folks, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by BetUS. Yes, bet with the best in the business. BetUS. BetUS has been around for more than 30 years. Easily deposit using cryptocurrency and get lightning fast payouts. Support SGPN and get yourself access to another great books, by signing up there at BetUS. So use our link to sign up and get a 125% deposit bonus for your first 3 deposits. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. Promo code SGPN, so they know that we sent you. BetUS, America's favorite sports book. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. SGPN's proud partner. Rhythm is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in a matter of seconds and get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, totals, props. You can copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard, or you build your own. You press build me a model, and Rhythm gives you predictions for every game and player prop, and also has a slew of stats, research, trend analysis, to give you even more betting insight. So claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. Back on the college football experience. Just had a really great day today. Hit on some big time money line plays. Kentucky, Sam Houston, Colorado, Florida International, Charlotte. Just a lot of great money line plays. Had a great amount of money with Army and Rutgers. Hit on Texas Tech. It might be phony. So where are you at with Satterfield right now, Patty C? 3-2. 3-2.
He still finds a way to lose games, but I still am optimistic about the direction of the program moving forward. They look pretty good.
They do. I think they're a bowl team this year.
Yeah.
Air Force, Wyoming's off the schneid. Finally. The course win. And bet detective CJ Sullivan sent me a nice text message because he tried to talk me into betting Wyoming. I said, I'm not touching that. They've been costing me money every week. They needed that win, man. First win of the Solvell era.
Man, things are going tough in old
Laramie.
No, not Laramie.
Yeah, we were tipped off to Air Force being
crappy this year.
Yeah, I think on the episode I took the over, but that thing's cooked.
Not Troy Taylor. Who is it? Troy Calhoun.
Yeah. Troy Taylor played for them last year. Nice win for Wyoming there. Patty C, we should talk about this one. SMU 42, Saudi Arabia State 16.
I love it.
Woo!
Let's look at the remainder.
You know what? This is so great because I'm sorry. The floor is yours. Go.
Let's talk about the remainder of Florida State's schedule. But why is this so great?
Well, because you got the school that was bitching and wanting to leave. And then you got the new one that's got all that blood money.
Like, bye.
42-16, Patty C.
They're both Saudi Arabia State.
They are true. Saudi Arabia State against Saudi Arabia Tech. All right. Florida State's horrible.
Florida State's remaining schedule: Clemson,
bye week at Duke,
loss at Miami,
loss,
home
to North Carolina.
I think they lose.
I still think they lose too. No, they'll get one of those.
I think they beat North Carolina and they lose to North Carolina by 14.
Yeah, I think so. They probably do.
They lose all four of those. They'll at Notre Dame, loss.
The Buccaneers of Charleston Southern. Hey, Florida State, you want to be the SEC so bad you schedule Charleston Southern.
And I actually think they beat Florida, so I think they finished 3-9.
I'm gonna say 4-8.
Maybe 4-8.
4-8.
We give them one of those other ones, but God, that's glorious. As a person that watched a lifetime of Florida State being shit-talking assholes that also won a lot of football games, I can never get enough of Florida State losing. It'll never get old. They could go 0-12 for the next 20 years. I still wouldn't get sick of it.
Yeah, LFG's in the chat making fun of the defensive substitution, saying we don't need any more flags. That's a good point. That is a good point. There's too many flags already in football.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. Yeah.
And Slopeside saying this is the most satisfying collapse after crying so hard last year.
Well, we were crying on behalf of
they should have
State.
got in. They should have got in last year, but
13-0 conference champ. That's unprecedented not to get in, but I'm glad. Like, Florida State was a bitch ass program.
Yeah.
You live by the transfer portal, you die by the transfer portal, and that's what they're doing. They're dying.
You think Dabo's relishing in all this when he's sitting over there with no transfers? Just
yes, and I'm rooting for Dabo. Congrats, Dabo. Things are looking good. Aside from that Georgia game, domination.
Arizona 23, Utah 10. I lose money, and my future for Utah to win the Big 12 looks very, very shaky right now, buddy.
Yeah.
What the hell is up with Cam Rising? I mean,
what a wide open conference we got.
So Utah plays in the desert next. They have a bye week and then they go to Arizona State. Cam Rising, if you're not ready for that, because Utah's got a history of losing in Tempe, and Arizona State's a lot better than I thought they were. You better be starting that fucking game. You got 2 weeks.
You better be starting that game. You better be throwing the ball all over the field.
Put some goddamn rubbing alcohol on that finger of yours. Take some fucking painkillers.
Right.
And play football.
Was it a finger that got
cut your hair?
Finger that got injured in the Gatorade incident?
Unbelievable. Reminded me of, like, remember the Washington Bullets? I was a big Bullets fan, and I remember like the Bullets just couldn't get it right in the 90s. I actually believe that David Stern. I believe this to be accurate after listening to that podcast.
No, that's 100% true.
Because it was like they had the worst record like every year. They would never get the first pick.
They get like the 6th or 7th.
It was like, oh
pick
great, we get LaBradford Smith, right? But then there was a time where like we're having a decent season means like potentially flirting with the 8th seed of the playoffs. And
which in the NBA is like 32 and 40.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you're going to play Jordan too. So, but Tracy Murray, who once scored like 100 points in a high school game, he got in a fight with one of our players, and he punched someone in the face. I forget who it was, but he broke his hand. He's out for like the season. It's like, what? Like, this guy's like our starting small forward. It's like a key stretch of the season. And he breaks his hand. It might have just been like fighting a friend or something, but it was like this is not even related to basketball. I forget what the story was, but it was.
It's the kind of shit that only happens to a team that the NBA.
It's Cam Rising. Cam Rising, like he stubs his toe. He's out 6 weeks. Unbelievable. Shout out to Arizona. Is Arizona now like that's a huge win because now you have the tiebreaker on Utah. Telling you, Arizona.
Yeah, I still think to this moment
we have
the entirety of the Big 12 is wide open.
Yeah,
because most of them have played what 1 or 2 Big 12 games.
Yeah.
Who's the basement of the Big 12 that cannot win the conference?
It's looking like Kansas and Houston. Oh, no, Houston number 1.
Yeah,
Kansas
Houston
like it wouldn't surprise me if Leipold like ripped off 8 wins. I will never put that out out of the possibilities. But I would say Kansas and Houston seem like that.
Kansas, Houston, Baylor, Oklahoma State of all teams.
And we didn't talk enough about
0-2 in conference.
We didn't talk enough about Baylor. Aranda's fired. He got fired today.
He got fired today, you think?
Definitely.
2-3. They got whooped.
They're done.
Arizona State 0-1, but they're still very.
Who's the next coach at Baylor, Patty C?
Kendall Browse. Probably not.
TCU's got to start picking it up then.
But everyone else: BYU, Colorado, Texas Tech, Iowa State, Arizona, West Virginia, UCF, Kansas State, Utah, Cincinnati, TCU, and Arizona State, and even Oklahoma State, all still alive.
Yeah,
I think for the Big 12 championship game.
It's fascinating. Fascinating.
Great conference. Great conference.
I cashed on Boise State minus the points against Washington State. I love you, Washington State, but it was a bad spot. But I will say this game was closer than the final score. Boise added 21 in the 4th. Ashton Jeanty's the best running back in college football.
He's so nasty.
He's so good, dude.
What was his stat line today?
I'm assuming he didn't run anymore in the 4th quarter. He had
26 for 259.
4 touchdowns, 10 yards a rush. Woo!
It's getting it done.
And our boy John Mateer gets his first loss. But like I said, they can go 11-1. They can go 11-1. Because guess what? That Texas Tech win's looking better and better.
Wazoo? Yeah.
So this is the one I thought they would lose. It's the one I thought they would lose.
Yeah.
That's why I loaded up on Boise. What does it mean for Boise State, Patty C?
Huge win.
They're fucking good, dude.
What is Boise's record?
They should have beat Oregon. They were better than Oregon when they played in Eugene.
Yeah, that might be their one loss.
Lost by 3, but they were better than that, man. Yeah. Oregon had 2 special teams touchdowns. What bullshit.
Yeah. Revenge. Yeah. 12 versus 5. Boise versus Oregon. Let's let that happen. Up in Eugene.
Yeah, bring it back,
please.
Speaking of Oregon, 34-13. I'm sorry to Daniel in the chat. Oregon missed an extra point that would have gave them the cover, but the Bruins cover, Patty C. And Oregon goes to 4-0. They just don't look great to me, though. They look like good, but not great.
Wait, what was the spread on this one?
It's exactly the number right there. It was 23 or 24, but I guess some people got it at 22.
They won by 21.
So if they make the extra point,
cost the,
or maybe you got it at 21.5.
At least the push, maybe the cover. Yeah.
That's tough, man. That's tough. The Ducks, can they? I don't know. They play Ohio State in 2 weeks.
They're counterfeit. No, they're going to lose.
They seem counterfeit to me, and I have a future. I have a future on them to win the national championship.
Michigan and Ohio State. Yeah.
Yeah, that's our show. I mean, some bangers in the FCS. I'm gonna have an FCS reaction show for you tomorrow or Monday. So stay tuned to that. Patty C, who are the biggest win of the day? Is it Bama? Yeah.
JMU and JMU West are combined for a 9-0 start, which is almost replicates last year's 10-0 start.
JMU West, Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So getting it done on that front.
Yeah, I mean, very impressive. Today was a great day.
Yeah, Alabama is the clear winner of the day. Reestablishing themselves as the premier SEC program.
Kentucky with a huge win.
I don't know. Texas might have something to say about that.
Colorado with a huge win.
Yep.
I mean,
Clemson did great.
Clemson looked good. A&M survives Arkansas again in a close game.
Texas iffy.
Let's just talk 1 second before we leave.
Yeah.
Coaching hot seat.
Throw some names out.
Hugh Freeze.
Sure.
You think he's coaching next year? They're going to be 2-3. They're 2-3 right now. Guess what? They're at Georgia next. They're going to be 2-4. Guess what? After that, they're at Missouri. They're going to be 2-5.
Yeah.
Then they're at Kentucky.
2-6.
Then home to Vanderbilt and Diego Pissing Pavi, who's already won on that stadium when he was at New Mexico State.
I bet they get a third win by then.
Then ULM and General Booty ain't putting up with no bullshit.
They'll win that one. 4.
Home to A&M.
I lost.
At Alabama.
4-8.
Brian Harsin has got a smile on his face, and his name is Brian Harsin.
What year is Freeze? This is year 2?
Yeah, but they only gave Harsin 2.
They'll give him one more. He's a dirtbag. Harsin was too clean for them. They'll say, Freeze, you better get really filthy this year, or else you're out of here.
I better see you at the damn titty bar every night. All right. Freeze has got a good, legit excuse. You guys told me I couldn't use a cell phone. That was part of his contract.
Yeah.
What a world. I'm a 45-year-old human being, but I can't use it. You don't trust me to use a cell phone, but you can. But yeah, guess what? We're gonna put you in charge of 90 people and a staff.
Wait, it wasn't a cell phone. It was the actual.
In his contract, he can't work a cell phone. In his contract at Auburn, it's great. It's one of the best things that's happened in the SEC over the past 10 years. He's not issued. Someone is in charge of his fucking cell phone. He cannot use the school provided cell phone.
That's amazing. That's amazing. We're too concerned you're gonna call hookers.
You're gonna do something. You're gonna you're gonna have your cocaine dealer come over or something. Patty C. So I want to just do a quick check.
Yeah.
Hugh Freeze, you say, is back next year. Mike Houston and ECU go to 3-2. Is Mike Houston back next year?
Back next year.
I think so too. Brent Venables, if he goes 5-7 at Oklahoma or 6-6,
this is year 2.
Yeah,
back next year.
Billy Napier at Florida,
gone.
Dave Aranda at Baylor,
gone.
Ryan Silverfield at Memphis.
Depends on how he does for the rest of the year.
Okay.
Brent Pry. How many does he have to win? How many does he have to win?
I think if he goes 6-6, he's good.
5-7.
I still think he's good. 4-8, then maybe.
And 3-9, he's gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mike Norvell. He's safe.
Here's the only thing that could happen with Mike Norvell. If he goes 3-9 and primetime is ready to come to Colorado with Shadur and Travis Hunter, then
what? They're going to the NFL.
They're going to the NFL, yeah. But if he can, who both have eligibility left, if he can convince them both to stay and that he's going to come to Florida State, even still, I think he'd be there for 1 year and then he'd follow Shadur into the pros most likely.
Yeah,
I think Florida State would be idiotic to do it, but I could see it happening. Otherwise, I think Norvell's safe. Even if he goes 3-9,
Norvell's safe. He's fine.
Yeah.
Stan Drayton at Temple, gone.
Gone, I guess.
Will Hall at Southern Miss.
What are they at?
They suck. They have one
win.
He's probably it's an FCS. He's gone. Bloomberg at Rice. I think he might be gone. Rice might be opening up, even though they made 3 straight
bowls.
What
are the fucking expectations?
Yeah,
of Rice?
Yeah. That one's on the fence. Don Brown at UMass. 1-4. I think you keep him one more year.
Keep him one more.
Yeah, give him one more year. Let him get in that MAC play.
Yeah.
Joe Moorhead at Akron. You're 3, 1-4.
What do you want? You're Akron. Keep him.
Well, you fired Tommy Bowden for him.
Yeah.
Right? Or Terry Bowden. Terry Bowden. Luke Fickell at Wisconsin.
One more year.
I'll get one more year.
Yeah.
Desmond Moreau at Louisiana. We said we think he's going to make it through it. Yeah. Mike New at Ball State's fired. He's fired. His tenure's gone. Trent Dilfer at UAB.
He might be gone.
Yeah. What else do we have on this fine slate? I think that's majority of it. What about Ryan Walters at Purdue?
This is year 2?
Yeah.
He's probably got to get to at least 4 wins, right?
Yeah.
3-9 might get him fired. 4 what is he at right now?
1 Indiana State.
I don't know if he makes it.
Yeah. Neil Brown, West Virginia.
He might get canned. What's the record?
I think they're 2. They beat Kansas and Albany 2
and 2.
Yeah.
He's got to go bowling. I'll keep him if he goes bowling for 1 more year.
I think that's majority of it right there. I'm trying to.
Scott Satterfield.
I think he's fine this year. They're a bowl team. If they pass the eye test.
If they go 2-10, is he gone?
Probably, but I don't think they're going to go 2-10.
Yeah, they're a better team than that.
It's McElwain at Central Michigan. I think he's going to make it through.
He's doing great.
I think
they
got housed by FIU though.
Yeah,
but yeah. Okay, I feel like that's pretty much Norvell at Colorado State. 2-2 right now. I think he's got to get to a bowl or bust.
In year 2?
He's in year 3.
Year 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably bowl or bust. Chiefs and Sixers.
2-2 right now. They got Oregon State on deck. Probably going to be 2-3. Wilcox at Cal. Fine, right?
At this point?
Yeah.
Unless he loses out.
Yeah. Pittman at Arkansas.
Got to go bowling.
And they're 3-2.
I think he's all right. I don't know. It depends on what the rest of that schedule looks like.
Yeah. They actually look better than some of the shitty teams in the SEC.
Arkansas's all right.
Yeah. They you know what? They have a bye. No, they're hosting Tennessee next week. Then they have a bye and then hosting LSU and then at Mississippi State. If they can go 2-3 or 2-1 in that 3-game stretch,
that'd be nice.
That'd be very nice for the Razorback fans. Folks, that's our show. Let's get out of here. Give Patty C a follow on Twitter at PattyC831. NC Nicks on Twitter at NC__NICK. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. Let us know your thoughts. Daniel saying, how many for Mario Cristobal?
He'd have to lose. He'd have to go 7-5. They'll still keep him, right? After this start.
Yeah. What about Levy? Someone said Levy. He's in year 1. They'll give him a second year. If he goes 1-11.
1-11.
No, they'll give him a second year.
They'll give him a chance. Yeah.
All right, folks. Till next time. Make sure you check out all of our stuff. We got the FCS show that'll be up in the next 48 hours as well. College basketball experience. Just had Will Wade on the show. Mountain West preview just dropped. We got the ACC lined up soon. The season's right around the corner. Moneyline Mac, Noah Beanick been killing it there. Check out the college baseball experience as well. And the sports gambling podcast, the CFL gambling podcast, the Bottom Line Bombs podcast, all that good stuff coming out here on the network too. Stadium Heads, go get equipped with college football stadiums. Check out the Stadium Heads podcast. Till next time, folks, this is the college football experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.